Get out.
But I know the DJ.
Do you?
Welcome to episode 32 of But I Know the DJ, a podcast discussing all things DJing, music, nightlife, business, and pop culture through the unfiltered opinions of host Snacks, a.k.a. the Latino Jimmy Fallon, powered by Dope Entertainment and our sponsor, Anchor. I wanted to shout out our Black-owned business of the week, Black Girl Sunscreen, which began with the need for melanin women to have a sunscreen brand that caters exclusively to them. Check them out at blackgirlsunscreen.com and at Black Girl Sunscreen on Instagram. Now I'd like to welcome our guest for today's episode, DJ of some of the most popular uptown Latin nights in the city, a fellow advocate of the Less Hate, More Perreo movement. We welcome DJ Harvey Romero.
What's going on? What's
up, baby? First time on a podcast for Harvey Romero. We
pleasure.
are here after the first weekend of 100% capacity of Nightlife in Boston. You came off of venue. Was that all you did this weekend?
Yeah, I did a venue in the Latin room with Jera.
Mm-hmm. And how was that?
Man, I've never seen venue like that.
Yeah,
I've never seen venue like that that early.
Yeah,
it was like 10 o'clock, and I was getting text messages like, "Yo, where are you?"
Yeah,
and I usually show up maybe like 15 minutes before just to like set up and everything like that. But it was like 10 o'clock, and there was a line like around the block.
Mm-hmm.
It was real big.
Yeah. I was supposed to go and be with like Ado and the dope team and everything like that, but I was like, you know, the rest of my year is gonna be like this. Like, I'm gonna do one more night where like I went and hung out at a bar with like Cammy and like Toomey and like we're all hanging out. So, excuse me, you know, like one last night just to like be together before we all get booked forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and I was just watching videos, Ace on his recaps, like lying around two corners, like by 10:30, like just unheard of, and it made me realize that like the culture of going out is going to be different for a while. Where like there's no pulling up late to be cute anymore because you literally will not get in.
Exactly.
I know a few people that on that night tried to show up at 11:30, 11:45, thinking they could just walk in, end up not getting in at all, just because it was by the time that they were like reaching the front of the door, it was 12:45, and it's like at that point, why are you paying $40 to get in
for like an hour?
For like an hour,
yeah.
And you know, I knew it was gonna be crazy, but like I just didn't know to what extent. And my big night was Sunday, like the day after, so I was just like, if this is like, you know, I should expect something very similar. And it was like at Hava, like I told people, I was sending them the video of like that Ace was posting about like how crazy it was, and I'm like, dude, this is no joke. Show up early, like 10. Like camp out, like you know what I mean? Like honestly,
no, seriously.
I was telling like my close people, I'm like, yo, guys, like I want to make sure you guys come in smooth. Like you have to come at this time, and they're like, oh yeah, for sure. And you know, even some of them like 10:30, 10:45, and they were like, I would just getting texts like, yo, or like, oh my god, like, and I'm like, yeah, I told you, the line is no joke. Because when I pulled up at like 10:15 or something, and it was already like very, very big line, very hectic.
Yeah, it was like 10 o'clock, and around like 10:30, I invited some girls out, and they were like, we don't think we're going to get in. Like, the line is massive.
Yeah.
And, like, luckily I had them on the list, and they got in. But, like, they had to close doors. Like, they hit capacity. And I don't think I've ever been part of a venue and they hit capacity.
Because you can fit
like 600 people.
Yeah, you can fit mad heads across the two rooms.
Yeah.
600, 700 maybe?
Yeah.
Like, and it looked wall to wall. Like, it looked like
it was wall to wall.
Fucking insane. So as far as the Latin room, like obviously you're playing lots of like bachata and merengue and stuff, right? Or no?
No, not really, man.
Really?
In the Latin room, it's a lot of reggaeton, a lot of dembow.
Right.
And if you get like the okay, you can kind of like splash them with some hip hop, some dance hall, and it works. So it's very like it's very fast paced. And then to slow it down, then you'll throw a bachata or maybe like a set of bachata. And maybe like a couple, maybe like one set of like some mambo or merengue, and like that's it. And like probably close to like no salsa.
Yeah.
So it's not like your typical like Latin night.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because when it's that packed, How do you really
Yeah.
dance bachata or anything like that?
Yeah, you're like I think I danced with some girl, and it was just like we're bumping to like other people and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's really uncomfortable, and like especially if you're like drinking and stuff, and you know
It's a
people
force.
people get all like like especially the guys that get all worked up.
Yeah.
You start bumping into them, then like they want to fight you and stuff. It's not even worth it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like can't be a patron anymore because like anytime I'm in a club setting, I'm in a DJ booth, protected from everybody, and
Yeah.
like have my own space. And like now, like that's again, like I was like I knew venue was gonna be crazy, and like I would have been at a table and stuff, but I didn't even know that even the tables would have been crazy too. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, yeah, like I'm sure it's gonna be sick, but like I don't think I'm gonna miss out too much. You know what I mean?
No. I mean, I've never seen venue like that. And as soon as I got there, it was just even the Latin room. They had like the tables were already like booked and they were already like packed.
Yeah.
And people just wanted to dance like straight to it.
Yeah. Like
straight to
like
it.
so you you did an early set, right? Like an opening set.
Yeah, I did an open.
So how did you have to approach that? Did you have to like kind of
do
it a little bit differently since it was people were just so ready to go?
Yeah, exactly. So I actually had a big issue because when I got there, their equipment wasn't working. So they had 2 CDJs, they had a S9, and the S9 wasn't like my laptop wasn't reading it. So I had everything like set up to go on my end, but their mixer just wasn't working. So I had to run back to the garage, the one across from Candy Bar.
Yeah.
And I went up like 7 flights of stairs, and luckily something told me like, yo, take your controller. So I took my controller, I left it in the trunk, and I went up like 7 flights of stairs, grabbed it, came back down another 7 flights, and literally ran back to venue. Like it was pretty hectic. It was pretty hectic.
What?
Yeah. And like I've always told them like, yo, y'all need to like fix y'all sound, like your equipment needs to be on point because it makes us look bad. You know.
Wait, but an S9 is such a plug and play. What was the issue?
So so you know how when the first time when you connect to something you've never used before, especially on a new laptop, it'll tell you like, oh, install the driver.
Yeah.
I did that. So as soon as I did that, I restarted my computer and I plugged back in and it read it for like maybe a quick second. And then the turntables like showed up on Serato and then they would
turn back off, right?
Yeah, and then to turn back off.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before and I forgot how I fixed it. That's happened to me like multiple times at different spots and I forget.
Yo, I was freaking out.
I remember that feeling, but there's a way to fix it and I forgot how it is. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and like
I forget it. I forget if it's an update thing. I forget.
Well, I'm running Catalina, so I left it on that OS just because the other ones they're very like unstable.
Yeah.
I used to run High Sierra, but then I got a new laptop. So
yeah, for non-DJs we're getting very technical, but it is a DJ show, so fuck it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you said you got there 15 minutes before and you're going through all of this.
No, actually, I kind of underestimated how busy it was gonna be, so I showed up maybe like 10:30. Yeah.
So the night was already
like
main room was already filling up. So what? So side room was just the lounge room was just closed for that time.
No, they had music going. So the sound guy he had a USB on, but he had like R&B and like soft stuff. So I'm like, yo, like people are gonna start leaving. So when I got there, I was like, yo, can you throw in like a Latin mix or something, and I'll go grab my stuff, come back. I pretty much told him just switch whatever's playing in the main room to here.
Right.
So like luckily,
they
had some like top 40 stuff going on. So that was helpful for like the 10 minutes that I was gone. But like once I came
that
back,
10 minutes must have felt like fucking hour.
Yeah. Especially going up those stairs.
Yeah.
Coming down.
And thing is, the run from Icon to that garage is like long enough.
Yeah.
Like that's like 2 blocks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like it's just across the street.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And like I came back and
the secondhand stress is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and I was upset because I'm like, yo, like y'all supposed to be the sound guys, like y'all supposed to be like, you know what I'm saying, like got everything under control. And like I got back, I was setting everything up. I was hooking up, to the system and everything. And they're just standing there. I'm like, yo, like I'm supposed to just come in, plug in, play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm pretty known for always getting there mad early.
Yeah.
And it's for reasons like that.
Yeah.
Because like, and it happens. Like, and for most clubs, like you can just show up and plug in, you're ready to go. But I don't know. Like I get it from my dad. Like my dad's the type to show up like 3 hours early at an airport. You know what I mean?
That's like the typical Hispanic.
Yeah. Like I'm the same exact. Like anyone will tell you I'm always on time. Like I'm rarely late. And it's for things like that because like listening to that story, I'm like shaking. I'm like,
it's a disaster.
The anxiety, sweating, heart's beating, and then you can't like start. Like you're starting already stressed.
Yeah.
And you're probably already a little bit nervous.
Yeah, exactly.
First time back.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You know it's gonna be a full house. Like, oof.
That's exactly like like picture perfect.
Yeah.
Like scenario right there. I was already stressed. I was already nervous. But you know, it goes back to you know, it was also my fault because I should have been there. You know, like 9:45, 9:30, and that's what I typically do. I hate being late to like gigs.
Yeah.
Just because. You know, for situations like that, and it also makes you look bad to me. It's a
Yeah,
job. It's a job. You know what I'm saying? So like treat it like one. Like
1,000%.
you know, a lot of people just show up, you know, thinking they're superstars. It's kind of like you're not. You know, not all of us. You know what I'm saying? So treat it as a job, so you can get that call back, like to come back another time. You know?
Yeah, and the thing that annoys me, like still to this day, is like I'll ask promoters. I'm like especially if it's a place that like I haven't played at before, or whatever the case is. I'm like, okay, what's the setup? And like they rarely know, you know, like, and I'm like, can you find out? Oh yeah, and then they never tell me, and then I get there, and like a places like this is karma. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll get there and there's nothing there.
Wow.
There's no DJ setup, and I go to the manager. I'm like, tell me how I'm supposed to play. Oh, you don't just have your shit? I wasn't told. I asked multiple times.
Yeah.
And never got an answer. So now here we are. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? And then I'll call whatever promoter it is, and I'll be like, "Hey, guess what? I do have a controller in my trunk, but like, we're gonna talk about that later."
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And like, and it's just that shouldn't happen. Like, imagine if I didn't have it on me. You know what I mean? Exactly. What happens to the night? And then and then everyone blames you because your name was on the flyer, and they're like, "Oh, the music was all fucking weird and janky, and I don't know what the DJ was doing." Yeah, exactly. It's mad annoying.
Which it shouldn't be happening. If you're playing at a club, the club should invest into having their equipment.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, venue, and like they do have a team of sound guys, and it's usually like no problem. It's usually no problem. You know, I actually love all those guys. Those guys are all great. But for something like that, when it's like a connection issue, that's the thing about connection issues is you don't know if it's the hardware or the software. Yeah. Right. That's the thing about like DJing is like, you know, we do rely so much on
our computers,
on equipment, whether it's a computer or the controller or the picture, whatever the case is. So if anything farts on you, like as far as the crowd is concerned, it's you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I think one of my nightmare stories was excuse me, gotta take a sip. I was playing a Bijou Gold Room, full house, and the right CDJ like keeps getting like turning on and off. Like, it would just shut off, lights off. And I'd be like, good. Like, it would stop, and I'd be like, I have to go in internal and, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we were able to figure out why it kept turning off, but, like, then it wouldn't connect to Serato. Like, Serato wouldn't read the right-hand side for whatever reason. Mind you, I'm fully DJing at this. Like, as we're troubleshooting this, I'm fully doing transition, like, internal mode, whatever.
You're troubleshooting at the same time.
Yeah. Me and the sound guy, like, we're all trying to figure it out. And then I was like, you know what, fuck this shit. Took out a USB. And on one side I played on Record Box, and on the other side I played on Serato, and finished the night like that. And it was like insane. It was a moment where I was like it was one of those few moments where I was like, I'm a freak. Like the fact I'm doing this right now is, and no one can tell, is like, and I used to DJ on Record Box. Like I used to like DJ on USBs. So I was still like, I still knew how to do it. I could still DJ by ear. Like, everyone, like, I remember I telling my friends about that. They're like, why didn't you just do internal mode on one side the whole time? And I was like, because I like having control of both sides. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that was a moment where there was a moment I like looked at my setup, and I'm like I'm scrolling through Record Box on one side, and on the other side I'm like using my computer, and like every transition is all by ear because they're not connected to each other.
Yeah.
And that shit was fucking crazy. But people don't realize how much, like, you know, if it's hardware or software, at any moment it really could. Yeah. Your computer could just shut off or freeze. Exactly. You know, someone could drop a drink. Yeah, exactly. Like on the thing, and now it fried. What do you do? You know what I mean? These are all these little things that like anxiety, man. And then like, especially for people who are like partying in the DJ booth thinking like they're super cool. Mm-hmm. if you drop your drink, you are ruining it for everybody. And I'm the one, if the microphone even still works, that's being like, this person right here, not me. They spilled their drink and is the reason why we all got to go home now.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm not taking that fucking heat. Like, when it's not my fault, fuck that. You know what I mean?
I should be more like that.
You're too nice, man.
I am. I'm way too nice.
You're a nice guy.
I'm way too nice. And it's like, everybody keeps telling me, like, yo, Harvey, talk your shit. I'm like, all right, cool. Like,
Yeah. Well, we were talking about a little bit about the MC game, and you're texting me out on Saturday. You tried some new stuff out. What was that like?
I was sober, so it was a big help.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, like I ran back. I was already like sweating. I was stressed out.
Yeah. Oh.
And then the room just started like to fill up.
Yeah.
And like people.
And you got to command the room
Yeah.
from the jump. Like that's what I was talking. When I talked to younger DJs about it, and like, DJing is obviously so much about music, but I think part of that X factor of being like a good DJ or a big DJ or a popular DJ, whatever that you want to call it, is the ability to command the room.
Yeah.
Like, I can hear inexperienced DJ when they get them like yeah, venue, like like we here, baby. I'm like, nah, like you gotta like command the fuck.
Yeah.
Like you are Lil Jon, you're Fat Man Scoop, like you are the voice of the night. You know what I'm saying? And if and the crowd can feel that.
Exactly.
Like they'll eat you alive. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, so you have to make it where it's like, nah, like y'all are following me. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how when I realized that and understood that, like it changed the game for me. Like the presence is always felt.
Yeah, that's very big to me, and that's what I took from like what you were telling me, and like hearing other DJs play. It just project your voice.
Yeah.
Like don't be all shy, because I used to be one of those DJs that would walk up to the booth all like nervous, and like people used to come up to me like, yo, relax, like have fun, like smile and stuff. But like once you start doing that, like, and you start making people feel your presence through the mic, they're like, oh shit, who's up there?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And like everything is so perception based. Like even with like here we go.
Fun stuff.
Producer Phil just came in with the cups. We do have Hennessy on deck, courtesy of DJ Harvey Romero.
That was juice.
Time to break it out. Excuse us. And ice. Oh God.
MVP.
Wow. I know you want some. Phil, stop playing with me. Oh, here we go. So we're gonna pour up live on air. Don't mind us. Harvey asked me earlier, like, what we're gonna drink. You're like the third or fourth guest to bring alcohol. You know what I mean? I'm sorry I'm burping so much, guys. I was drinking seltzer, so it's all bubbly. We have had alcohol on the show before. Every time we have done, it's gone wild, a little off the rails. You want me to pour you up? You want to do the honors? How do you want to do this?
However, whatever works.
All right, so we got some ice. I know Phil wants a little something. And you asked me Hennessy or Patron. Do you still drink Patron a lot?
Yeah, I drink Hennessy. I try to stay away from Hennessy just because it's gotten me into a lot of trouble.
1, 2, 3. Is that a good amount for everyone?
Should be straight. Yeah.
1, 2, 3. That's how I count my drinks usually.
I usually do the 4.
1, 2, 3. Really?
Yeah.
That's so random.
Yeah. I don't know. I've like watched bartenders.
I pull that shit until I feel like it's done.
Well, for me, like, cause you can eyeball it and stuff, but like if I count it every time with the same pace, then
Yeah.
like if I've been doing that for however many years, I know that's a good amount to pour. Now I know that it's consistent. You know what I'm saying? Because every cup is different, and when you throw ice in it, if you eyeball it, it looks all different. You know what I'm saying? But counting to 4, I mean, that's.
I've always watched bartenders. Like I'll watch.
Yeah,
I'll ask them.
I feel like that's what they do.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, we just count to 4." I'm like,
Count
okay.
to 4.
Yeah.
Oh. Then I'm gonna just generally fill this with. You want Gatorade? You have your own Gatorade, or you want to use my Gatorade?
I could use yours. It's fine.
So we are doing. I actually have never done this, but I've seen people do this: Hennessy and red Gatorade. Oh, it's red Gatorade 0. Oh. So there's not a lot of shit to like kind of dilute. You know what I mean? It's sheesh. Red Gatorade 0 and Hennessy. I've seen people do it. I've never really done it. I'm usually a Henny ginger ale with 2 limes kind of guy.
I typically just go on the rocks.
You go on the rocks?
Yeah.
Even when you're DJing?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right, here we go. Is that Italian ice?
Yeah.
Where the fuck did you get that? They have them in there too? Have they always had them in there? Oh, I might get one later. I might ask for one later. All right, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
To 32 episodes. See how this should taste. Hold on. Wow.
Well, not bad.
Phil's fucking chugging his. This is good. Shit. And it makes me feel not... Because, you know, like with all the soda sometimes, you like feel kind of shitty. You know what I mean? And the bubble guts I get the next day are terrible.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah. But
that's part of the reason why I go on the rocks too.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, for like 2 years ago or whatever, time is whatever. But there was a point where I was really trying to make a switch to like vodka soda. Yeah. Just to keep shit light and like cut the sugar and all that stuff. But like I really like to enjoy my drinks. Like I'm a big cocktail guy. Yeah. Sorry, I'm burping so much, guys. Because like why am I gonna struggle to drink something? You know what I mean? Like it just makes no sense. Like why would you drink it? Like would you order something you're gonna struggle eating?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I tried it and I was like,
I like that thought process.
It's real shit.
I've never looked at it like that.
I'm a pretty big like indulging type guy. Like obviously I don't do any diets or like, because to me like, I don't know, having a six pack or something, like, yeah, it's cool, but like who cares? Like I used to like really be self-conscious about like my body and like, you know, obviously wanted to be super fit or whatever, but like now my thing is like just being physically able. You know what I mean? Yeah. I work out a lot, I run a lot, or whatever, and I was like, as long as I can do that, I think I'm good. Yeah. And if I'm able to do that and enjoy the food and drinks that I can with my friends and have a good time, be able to go eat, go out, you know, do my thing and have fun at the same time, then I think I'm doing life pretty well. That's how you know what I'm saying? Exactly. So, and obviously people have different, you know, what makes them happy and what they find is fun is obviously can be completely different from mine. But, you know, I see certain people that, you know, they might lose, you know, 30 pounds or something amazing. You know, they cut out the sugar and all that stuff, bread, and they stop drinking and stuff. And then they'll be at parties and like look miserable. And I'm like, yo, are you good? And they're like, yeah, like I'm just low key. And I'm like, all right. I mean, you don't really, the six pack looks good though. Like, you know what I mean? But you know, it's a thing that it took a while for me to kind of figure out. Yeah. Like, cause at this point I'm just like, you know, I like life better when I live it this way. Cause I was super fit like before like DJing really took off. Like since like freshman year of college, I probably gained like 50 to 60 pounds. Like I used to be like 190, 200. Like I was like pretty fucking thin and like fit. Yeah. But she was boring. I don't know. Like I don't think I would want to live life like that.
Yeah, but it's not like, I mean, I don't see you as like a fat guy. You're just built. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that because there's dudes that are just
oh yeah, like well, that's what I mean. Like, no part of me wants to be like a slob. You know what I mean? Where it's like different. It's like, oh, I go up flight stairs and I'm like, like no. And like, you know, my whole thing was like, if you need to go move out and you're like, oh, like I want to call Snacks because like he could actually help me versus like Snacks my boy, I'm sure he'd help, but like he's just a fat shit. And he's not gonna help. He's just gonna like sit there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like no part of me wants to like be that or you know. I got to chase down a train or a bus. I can do it, you know? So yeah, that's what I mean. Like if I think I figured out some kind of balance where I can go on the weekend and do whatever I want and like enjoy it and be like, okay, cool. Like I'm having fun. Like we meet up for drinks or whatever and I can, you know, just do me, but also be like, yeah, but the next day I'll like get up and like do my workout or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
No, and it's very important. Like the fact that you said that, cause, lately, there's been, you know, with the whole pandemic stuff, like, you know, everybody, you know, gained weight and people just stopped taking care of themselves. Yeah. You know what I mean? And recently, a DJ, I mean, I didn't know him like that. It's crazy because I met him after I did Smoke and Flame. I went to East Boston with my boy. Mm-hmm. I met him at a local East Boston bar. Word. And he knew who I was. So I wasn't on that like, oh, like that was, you know, I'm very humble. So like I sat there, I spoke with him and everything, and like a couple of days later, they're like, I started seeing him on social media, and he ended up passing away. So I was like, what?
Wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, what? What the fuck happened? I was just talking to him. I just met him and everything, and
A Boston DJ?
he wasn't like a Boston DJ. He was more like a local bar DJ. Like he was doing a lot of like the like the local spots.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Latin?
yeah.
Yo, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So like I started.
Wow.
Yeah, and like people started telling me, yeah, he had like diabetes and stuff. Or something.
Mhm.
I don't know if that was a cause of it, but
Right. But I mean, especially when you have something, an underlying condition,
yeah.
plus COVID world, plus like whatever, you know what I mean? It can,
And you're
stuff can start
constant-
falling down. Yeah.
You're constantly grinding and DJing every single night, and you're literally chugging like alcohol left and right. So
Yeah.
you don't like, you don't know if that has like an effect on it, but I'm sure to an extent it does.
Yeah.
So like I feel like every DJ should definitely start prioritizing their health a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not to say like everyone always asks me like, do I drink at every gig? Not every gig. And especially like obviously depends on what I'm doing the day after. Is it most gigs? Yeah. And the thing is like there's levels though. I might have to just have one or two in the beginning to loosen me up, or because I'm actually thirsty.
Yeah.
And then other times it's just a fucking movie, like, and everyone's handing me shots, so like it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, those are the good nights.
Yeah. But have I done gigs sober a million times? Like,
I don't think I've done a gig sober.
really?
I can't. I have like crazy anxiety.
But
Like,
that's the
all
thing.
types of anxiety.
And this is the real thing about even just nightlife in general. Like, it is a weird teeter. Like, I think Kareem said this once. He was like, "Why are all DJs fat?" And I'm like, "Dude, because we have mad anxiety, son.
Yeah.
And like, we got to eat before the gig,
Yeah.
eat after the gig, probably drink all in between the gig, multiple times a week. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely gained weight when my DJ career started jumping off. You know what I mean? It's completely correlated. You know what I mean? The difference is, do you on the off days try and work out? Like me, like I don't eat out between like Monday and Thursday.
Okay.
I usually don't drink unless a guest brings alcohol. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Sorry.
I usually no, it's all good. I usually purposely like never drink, like even if it's like people do like a beer after work, or I don't do that because I know that my Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sundays are so much.
So
You know
much.
what I mean? So I'm like, at least like let me earn it. So
Yeah.
usually during the week I only drink water. I work out, whatever. What does it completely balance it out? Not really, because I'm still overweight. So whatever. But I always think like, imagine if I didn't do any of that. Like I ate McDonald's every day and didn't work out and whatever. Like how bad I would be. You know what I mean? And how bad my health would be. It is a real thing, and it is true. Like you look at a lot of DJs and we're all overweight. Because it's tough to manage.
It is, and that's why I had to take a step back like during the last year, just because I felt like I was getting out of control.
Yeah.
And I had to like just slow it down, like mentally. I was going through a lot of stuff, so I'm like, yo, I need to chill. Like I don't like where I'm going, and so I was like, all right, everything needs to like calm down and like get myself right. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of DJs should do that, so they can like produce that like energy when they go DJ, because like nobody wants to go see a DJ that's like depressed. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, and that's a real thing. Like and especially like as men too, and men of color, like we might know we're depressed, but like you said, like no one wants to fuck with, like you can't be posting like emotional shit when like everyone's like, yo, but like I'm just trying to get lit this weekend. Like
I had to stop because I got to the point where I was just constantly frustrated and I was just talking shit. So I was like, nah, I gotta stop. Stop. And like I posted one thing that I publicly said like, yes, I'm depressed. And like it's crazy, like I didn't expect to get that type of feedback from people that I barely even speak with.
Right.
Like I had a lot of DMs and like people thanking me for like speaking up, and I was like, oh shit. Like if I can make this type of like, impact on somebody else, then like, I'm doing something right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something important, something we've touched upon a little bit on this show with different people in the past, but that mental health, like, cuz it's not only just fast-paced life, but it's like, lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Trying to balance, a lot of people are like, oh, like, working out and health is wealth is a good way to kind of maintain good mentality and stuff. Sometimes we don't have enough time for that. We're up late, so we got to sleep in a little bit. Like, and that's when everyone's at the gym. It becomes tough, and over time, and then not only that, it's fucking stressful.
It's stressful.
You know, am I
Especially
getting
if
this
you're in a
gig? Am I
relationship
getting? And that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole nother like.
That's a whole other
nother
thing.
story.
So, but you talking about, you know, you taking a step back and, you know, being an advocate of like kind of being cautious of your mental health is important.
Yeah.
You know, again, I've mentioned this in the past before. Homeboy, Ruben, I think it's D Feliz on Instagram, you know, is a big mental health advocate, and he's he's a promoter and all that stuff. And, you know, he's really built like this really dope following of, you know, just like resources and people just talking about, you know, their mental health and everything like that. Have you ever gone to therapy?
I actually have a therapist. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah.
I've had one
like 2-3 years already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like 2 years around there.
Yeah. I've been in and out of it.
Yeah.
Well, half of it was like
me too.
for time, and then COVID. I was like, I'm not doing this some shit.
I've been doing that since like 13. I had like counselors, and then I was like, no, I got it. And then like it got to the point where I was like, no, you don't.
Yeah. So there are times where I was like, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
And then I'll just like stop showing up.
Yeah.
Or like stop like making meetings rather.
Exactly. Same.
And then like shit will hit the fan. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, remember me? Yeah, I need you again.
Yeah, we become that ex, you know.
Yeah.
Start
And I'm sure they're like used to it and stuff. Is your therapist a man?
No, she's a girl. It's a girl.
Oh, word.
Lady.
And how's that relationship like been? Like how has it affected you since you started?
It puts things in a different perspective. Because sometimes we become so like closed with our own thoughts that we don't, you know, we don't get to see how like somebody else sees it. And sometimes like their perspective actually helps. You know, it's like, you know, I was in a really like shitty relationship for the last 3 years, and like she was like helping me with that. And anytime I would be like, no, like, you know, it's gonna work out. She'd be like, you know, but this has,
real,
you know,
like,
but
yeah,
be
yeah.
real. This has happened. This has happened. Do you think, you know, if, you know, she would have felt this way, you know, this would have happened? So it's like, it's just one of those things that it's hard to accept. And with anything, you know, in life, you know, the biggest thing is just being able to accept things, you know, and understand that you can't change what happened in the past.
Right.
Like, you know, you only control what you can control.
Word.
You know?
Did you purposely seek a female therapist versus a male, or is that just kind of how it happened?
It's kind of just how it happened. You know, I don't really have a preference.
Yeah, I personally like wanted a male, like a male of color.
Yeah.
Just so they could feel me, you know what I'm saying? On certain, like how you wanted that, because I think what I needed was just an older person's perspective, rather than the other gender. But also, my issues weren't so much like relationship with a female base; they were more just like life. And so I think I just sought like the perspective of an older man that has gone through some of the shit that I'm currently going through. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of life shit. It's just I seek therapy because just like you said, life in general. You know, just recently, the last 3 years has been relationship based, but since I was 13, it's been just constant, like just life situations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think through social media, I think in a way, like mental health and therapy is becoming a little bit more normal, at least more talked about.
Yeah.
Because I mean, 5 years ago, you know, when no one was talking about it, it's like, oh, are you crazy? Or like, you know what I mean? And but it's so important, again, especially in men, because I think of my male friend group, and you know, we can talk about certain things. Like my friend group is pretty solid about that, but they're for the most part, like I can't just be like, yo, bro, like I'm sad, like or I feel this way, or like what do y'all think about this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's something that's just because it's not so normal in men right now, or I mean, it ever has been in the past, and so being able to accept that and even take the step to even go is like really, really, really
it's
big.
really big.
Yeah. And but then again, balancing it with a life that is like ours, where we're drinking and we're around so many women and competition and trying to be the best, you know, all this stuff. It can take a serious toll. But it's all about controlling it and maintaining it.
Controlling it, exactly. I mean, it's not easy. It took a lot for me to even say something. You know, but once you get it out there and you notice how better you feel, you know, it tells you like, you know, it's okay to ask for help. You know, and just because, you know, somebody else doesn't understand, it doesn't mean like, you know, you're crazy or anything like that. It's just, it's really affecting you. So go out and seek help.
Yeah, I mean, because life, like, there's no manual on life.
Exactly.
Just, you know,
I agree.
There's ways that people think we're supposed to like approach life. You know, the American dream, like go to college, get a job, married, 2 kids, a dog, picket fence, like. But even that's changing a ton. Like I was watching this this guy on TikTok, some like fucking cryptocurrency ass dude or whatever,
I
talking
stay
about
watching those.
yeah. Like, I'm not crazy into it, but I just like to listen to stuff like that. But he was talking about like the how the value of college has changed so much, like even in the last like 10 years.
Yeah.
Where it's like 50 years ago, going to college and getting a degree like made sense because you were getting the return by getting a good job that will ultimately pay you enough to cover the loans and then some. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now the loans are so high and jobs aren't really paying as much as they could be or whatever the case. And it's really hard. Like they're expecting 3 degrees and all this experience and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So now the return isn't as high. And so now it's like, is college worth it where you get so far in depth just to, have this 4-year social life, and which I do think is very valuable, but just to end up like getting a job that doesn't really even pay you back all the debt you have.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny how like when I got my first job out of college, like they never asked for my grades once. Like they just wanted they wanted to make sure I had a degree. That was one of the like you graduated from where? Okay, cool. Never asked for my transcript, for my grades. Like they just wanted to make sure I was graduating. So to me, I was just like, damn, like I kind of worked mad hard in college, kind of like not for nothing, but like for nothing,
I mean, I just think a degree just helps you get paid more. And I've heard that from a few people that have degrees, and I know people doing the same thing that they're doing, and the difference is that one has a degree and one doesn't.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously, trade is a big thing.
Trade is a big thing. Yeah.
My boy's younger brother, skipped opted out of college, like just went straight into like construction and does like HVAC shit, and he, with no debt, was just making mad bread. Granted, putting his body through it, like whatever, like really long days, really hard work, hard labor, fucking kills it. Has so much money. Bought a fucking motorcycle, like they bought an investment property. Like he just has so much like disposable income because he's working so much, has no fucking debt. And then my boy, his older brother, who went to college and is like working a good office job, is like, I have so much debt. And like,
isn't that lovely though?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
No debt and just have leftover money.
And it's just stuff like that where I'm like, damn, I work in business, I work in marketing, so like, there's no way I could have gotten there without a degree. Maybe through certifications, maybe. So I don't really think that I could be where I'm at without it, but I'm kind of like, imagine I had no debt or like, and honestly, I'm not the type to be working on the sun, building a fucking house. That's not my vibe. I'm gonna be honest.
No, and I'm gonna be honest too. That's just not me either.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me, and I'm not. I used to be afraid to say that, but like, no, I'm not. It's just not
like,
me.
don't get me wrong. Like, if shit needs to be done around the house, I'll do it. But
Exactly.
To do it every day, because I know people who who their dads are like handymen or they worked like as electricians, or you want a full re-up?
Yeah, thank you.
And like their dads, are like all fucked up, like their bodies. You know what I mean? Because you just put yourself through it. Me, I'm just sitting at a desk all fucking day. You know what I mean? So like,
same. Me too.
Yeah. You work IT?
Yeah, I do IT.
Right.
Yeah.
IT is good shit, man.
Yeah, IT is good. It's something that it just had me very, very curious when I was younger. I was always interested in how computers work.
Yeah. IT is one of those, and I'm sure it like helps with DJing a lot.
Oh yeah, it does. Now I'm getting into like the cybersecurity stuff.
Yeah, I think I saw you post about that.
Yeah. So I've been following up on that. I actually got a few certs already, so I'm certified in certain cybersecurity. No, the CompTIA Security Plus. I'm certified in that.
Mm-hmm.
Pen tester. So if I wanted to like hack and stuff, I can.
So I know they're not the same, but I'm curious of how close, like being well versed in IT versus being like someone who like studied computer science. Are they just two completely different things, or are they kind of cross over a little bit here and there?
They all have something to do with each other in some weird way.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm still trying to like figure out. But they're very, very related. So even though if you go to school like for computer science, you're gonna be well rounded in like Active Directory, how servers work, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it just depends. There's so many things you can do in IT. You can just be like a PC technician. You just troubleshoot hardware issues, or you can be like a system administrator where you kind of oversee the whole network and you understand how the entire operating system works.
Yeah.
Or you can just be a pen tester and just hack shit for fun.
Yeah.
Not get in trouble.
Yeah, like I think about the director of operations at my company.
Yeah.
And like it's just like you ask him for like a question, he's like, "Yep," like and like it's like done, fixed. Like here's a new password, just figure it out. And I'm just like, damn, that's like so cool, you know.
It is,
and then I have some computer science heads, like coders and front end and back end, and I'm like, damn, like
that's money.
But it's like a new, tons of money, like six figures out of college type shit.
If you know how to program, like kudos to you.
Yeah, it's like another language.
It's another language.
Yeah,
there's so many, like Python's one of like the popular ones.
Yeah.
But if you know how to fuck with that, you're in good hands.
I was trying to get into it, like one day, and I was like, nope, can't do it. Like, just the patience and
it's a lot of patience.
Like I'm a pretty fast paced dude, and like,
yeah, you're really fast paced. I've noticed that. I've noticed that. For somebody that looks so like lean, like laid back, you're really fast paced.
Yeah, it's funny because people have said that where they're like, where I would meet them, and I guess because I don't know, like they'll be like, yeah, when I first met, I thought you were super laid back, super chill, and then like once I got to know you, you're off the wall, and it'll be the reverse. They first meet me, they're like, yo, you looked insane, and then as I hung out with you, you're like super chill. Like I don't know, like maybe sometimes I'm tired, I don't know, but like
I think a lot of DJs are like that. You get the perception, like I know a lot of DJs. I was that dude was like an asshole, but then when I started talking to him, it's like, oh shit, you're cool, you know?
Yeah.
And one of those people was Stams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Stams is
here we go.
He's constantly battling with it. Like the first time he was on our show, he was talking about like, hey, I want to get on here and like let people know that like I'm not a bad guy. Like, he kept saying that, you know. And I think it is something that he just constantly deals with. But at the same time, he'll post shit and I'll be like, bro, like this is that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh no, it's a joke or whatever, and like, so it's tough, it's your social media. You can post whatever you want, but perception is such a big thing. Like, I'm one of the guys that like I don't say anything on social media, but I'm a huge asshole. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no.
So it's just I just do the opposite, and then because I just like to stay out of trouble. Just I don't really care to be necessarily like well liked by everybody, but like I just don't want my opportunities to be closed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the battle right now with that. I want to be liked by everybody, and then I don't want my opportunities to close.
Yeah.
But, when you put in a lot of work and, those opportunities are not, there, and there's, X, Y, and Z reason.
Yeah.
You kind of just get to that point where you just say, like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to say what I have to say. And if you don't like it, then that's fine. But it's my opinion.
Not necessarily speaking on your own personal experiences, but can you maybe kind of elaborate for people of like what are certain things that could keep, whether it be you or any DJ, from progressing or getting a certain gig or working with somebody, just so they get an idea of like kind of what the landscape is?
You mean like what not to say or do?
No, I mean, it can be behavior. It can be like certain people are in certain power, like whatever the case is that might, like, because I think when people first get into DJing, they're like, oh, I just gotta be nice to this person, I'll get where I need to go. But I think like I learned that that's not necessarily true.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So what are some other things that, whether it's stuff that you experience or just know about, that can kind of keep people out from getting where they want to go?
I mean, I think just the biggest thing is just being neutral and not, nowadays in Boston, it's like, it seems like everybody's associated with a certain group. And if you go outside that group, like you're looked at upon like really like weird. If that makes sense. But as long as you stay, and a perfect example of that, it's Rico. Rico Suave. I feel like he's very, very neutral and he's well liked by everybody.
Yeah, he is.
And I bet that's not one of the the only reason, but one of the reasons why a lot of promoters like working with him and club managers and all that stuff. He's just neutral. He doesn't you don't see him on social media talking shit.
Yeah, never. He's a really nice guy.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah,
and like he has that look like he's an asshole, but he's not. And like I've gotten the opportunity to talk to him a few times on a personal level, just recently, and you're like, oh shit, you're actually like,
no, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I mean, he's a guy, super popular, gets tons of gigs, really big bookings, has his own spots, does his own bookings, and
he's doing the right thing. He's doing the right thing.
Oh, he's one of the people that has approached the business very, very well.
Very well. Yeah.
But that being said, he had like what I was gonna say is, if you put that on paper, he has every reason to be an asshole.
Exactly.
You know, if people, I'm sure he gets it up all the time for this and that, where he could, you know, has leverage and can do whatever he wants, but he chooses not to, right?
I feel that's why Hectic is how he is too. Hectic, a lot of people say, oh, he's an asshole, but he has a reason to be.
Yeah.
Because I've had personal conversations with him, and he's telling me, he's like, you know, I'm like this because I've put so-and-so on, and, you know, I don't get anything in return. You know, they talk shit about me or whatever, and then I'm look like the bad guy. But Hectic runs, you know, venue, and he has the say in who gets booked who and where and stuff like that. So when you're in a position like that, I feel like go ahead, talk your shit.
Yeah. You know, when Dope named me as their music director, one of the things they said was, you know, get ready to be one of the most hated men in the industry. And I was like, I mean, I guess they can get in the podcast if they want to talk about it. Like,
and it's nah. When I saw that, I was like, about time. You know what I mean? I was like, about time.
a lot of people said that.
Yeah, it's like about time.
Yeah.
And it's definitely gonna help you out. And I mean, you're not just like a DJ to me. Like, you have like the complete package. So like, you know what it takes to like rock a club. So I know that when you start like booking other DJs, you're not gonna book, you know, a half-ass DJ, you know?
Yeah, and I've you know, obviously already been having those conversations with people, and I'm just like, yo, like, this is the way it is. This is where, you know, because my job with Dope now is like, you know, if they look at a bar, what a bar makes, they're like, okay, last week when you booked this dude, we made this much. This week when you booked this dude, we made that much. Don't ever have us make this much versus that much ever again. You know what I mean? So when they're on my neck like that, now I have to look at it as a business, you know? So if every time the bar does shit, they're going to look at me and be like, yeah, it's because that DJ that he fucking booked sucked, you know? Then if I'm going to be in that kind of position, I can't just be doing favors anymore. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true.
Like, I got to look at it as I might hate you, but fuck, the last time you played, the bar did amazing, and everyone gave me a pat on the back because I made the decision to book you. Okay, fine. I don't like you, but you keep everyone happy, so that makes me happy. You know what I mean?
So in that aspect, you're being a businessman.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's, you know, how I plan on approaching things. Obviously, you know, things will change, and there's going to be certain people I need to put in the mix or whatever the case is. But for the most part, you know, people like, you know, it says music director of Dope Entertainment on my bio now, or like, if people go to a Dope night and are like, I had a horrible time, like, it's going to be reflective of me. And that's the way I feel. So I want to make sure that my goal is to make it so that, like, if anyone has to choose, they're like, every time I go to a Dope night, it's always a home run. That's my job. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So with that being said, like, you know, I got to pick people strategically. If I love you and I don't pick you, like, it's business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Like I said, I could fucking hate you, but goddamn, you do good work. So I got to have you.
Yeah, you're not the first to say that. You know, Scrap always tells me.
Yeah.
When he does events, he's like, I'm picking you because of X, Y, and Z, not just because you're my boy.
Yeah,
And I just had a conversation with him recently about stuff that he wants to put together, and he's like, oh, I'm done doing favors. Like, he's like, he's like, I'm booking you because of this reason.
Yeah.
He's like, so make sure you bring your A game.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, bet.
Yeah, people tell me all the time how much they love Scrap's episode on when he was here, just because of
no filter.
He's no filter, didn't give a fuck, but he's also so fucking smart. Oh, so smart.
It's crazy how smart he is, and sometimes I'm just like, wow, like, I really have him as a friend.
Yeah,
like, I need to take more advantage of the fact that he's so fucking smart.
I just wish he was around.
Yeah.
Like,
I was texting him, like, on my way here. I'm like, yo, I'm about to go see Snacks.
Yeah. I remember when he told me he was moving, like, I got, like, really upset because I was like, because we were just becoming, like, really cool. Like, we were hanging out a bunch and stuff. And, like, it was, like, within the same year that I, like, actually met him. He, like, fucking moved. And I remember being like, fuck, like, you inspire me so much. And, like, I feel like being around you, I feel, like, better.
Yeah.
So I was sad when he left.
That's how I found out about you, through him, because he was telling me, oh, I'm gonna go see this kid Snacks. He's killing it. Then I looked on your IG, and then he was telling me about you, because we would hit the gym together like all the time. Yeah. So we always have conversations and stuff, and he was always bringing you up. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna check out who Snacks is.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride because, like, I still am quote unquote young, and like,
how old are you?
26.
You're at a perfect time right now.
Well, that's why, like, last year I lost my whole 25th year, like, for DJing, like, which, like, it was about, like people are like, oh, like, today, like, now's your time. I'm like, my time was supposed to be last year. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I feel cheated a little about. I feel a little cheated about it, but you know, but everyone went through it, so it's like
Everyone
we're
does.
all still in the same. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's all the same, I guess. But
You just gotta make the best of the opportunities that you're getting now, and when you get them, just kill it.
yeah, man. That's why I take like shit so seriously. Like, I get pretty annoyed or triggered when I see like DJs who do well and stuff, but they don't take it seriously,
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
they could be doing more and they just don't.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So because, you know, the DJ shit is cool. It's super cool. It's super fun.
But it doesn't last forever.
It doesn't last forever.
No.
And people all of a sudden get a huge mouth when their time is up. You know what I mean? And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, like, I deserve this, or like, I've been here for this long, or whatever. And it's like, but yo, if you get complacent and this new dude who's ready to come in hot replaces you, you can't like be mad at that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You have to be able to like, and that's in sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's gonna be a point where LeBron James is not LeBron James anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just being able to understand that and, you know, adapt. We got off track so bad. I asked a question and then I think Phil came up with the Hennessy and everything. Going back, and it just occurred to me, going back to the venue night.
Okay.
This past weekend, you kind of having to adjust. Like you're pretty much playing for a peak hour crowd, but as an
Yeah.
opening set, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you approaching that set? I'm curious.
So as soon as I saw that the room was like packed and everybody was just like, the first thing that I did, I just looked up and I was like, are people dancing? Are people like, is the vibe
Which is
right?
very important, and a lot of
Yeah.
DJs skip that.
Yeah, like I'm very big on vibes, on like energy.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm always like high energy, uptown. You know, I'm always like constantly, you know, pushing that. So I looked up and people were dancing. I'm like, all right, I need to hit them with a banger. So I put on some. I think the first song was Gatorade, El Maquinón, and like that's usually like around like 90 BPM.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, fuck it. I usually like to bring the BPM up, like to just, you know, keep it fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
I brought it up, threw it on. It responded well. Then after that, it was easier to go into like either like classics or just new bangers. So I think I went from that to like Bad Bunny. So something that they know, so they can either like sing along and just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't play any bachata. I didn't play any bachata. I was like, yo, it's too intense right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's too high energy. If I throw a bachata, it'll kill it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like which I mean, everybody likes to dance bachata, but
No, that's a good read though.
Yeah.
And again, these are these things that can really like it can really make the difference, because if you know you're riding that wave
yeah,
and they're with you and they're in your hands, like you can't lose it. Like
Exactly.
like you said, would playing bachata ruin it? But like it would have been the difference between like, oh fuck, like I'm still on this fucking wave. This night is perfect. It's my first time out.
exactly.
And it's like, this DJ is fucking perfect. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Versus being like, oh, like, I'm not mad at the bachata, but like, I was kind of on this wave.
Yeah,
and
it
he
could have
got off
been.
of it.
Yeah,
You know
it
what
could
I
have been
mean?
a hit or miss. But like the minute I thought about it, like something just told me don't play it.
Right.
So I just kept going with. I think I came up to like Dembo, and like as soon as I went up to Dembo, the girl started singing. I looked up. You see like, you know, 3 people on the wall grinding.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, I got them right where I want them.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept that high energy, like 100 BPM. Went up to Dembo, 120, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then talked on the mic, threw an acapella starter, back to reggaeton, until the other DJ got there.
And were you being careful about like not stepping on their toes, or were you just like, yo, this is just a crazy night. Like I just got to do what I do.
It's funny because I always took that approach as, if you're opening, don't step on the other DJ's toes. That's something that's how I was taught. That's how I learned. But I think it was Stams. He told me, he's like, anytime you open, fuck that. Come in.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
He's like, fuck that. Don't let the other DJ. It's not anything against the other DJ, because I'm not problematic like that. But he's like, nah, like make sure people know like who you are. Fuck that. There's plenty of music. So like I took that same approach. So as soon as I saw like people were like vibing, I threw a quick banger here and there. And I think I threw in like Fiel. What was it? That Jay Cortez song with MCing that's popping right now.
Mm-hmm.
I threw that in. It went wild. I don't think he even played it later. I think I threw Plan B, Guatauba.
Mm-hmm.
Always a banger.
Always.
But he played it later. So I was just like, fuck it. Like, I'm having a good time. Like, people having a good time. Like, I felt like that night was a new chapter for me, you know?
Dope.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, the opener thing, like, in my opinion, there's a way to kill it, and let everyone know who you are without stepping on the DJ. So I don't think one comes with the other. You know what I mean? I personally, I can have an insane set without touching music from the last 2 years. Like I know I can.
Yeah.
So, and that's the way I kind of look at it. Like the closer, you know, is going to take care of everything that's new. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, you can play the new stuff that's like B level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like people know it and it's popular now, but like it's not like the fucking record.
Yeah, it's not like the 12 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
So
that's how I typically approach it. Is just don't play like the big primetime records.
yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, cause you know, even in your intro and you mentioned yourself like Uptown Latin.
Yeah.
Like people don't understand that there's even different kinds of way to spin a Latin night.
Yeah.
How would you kind of describe this? Like, what does Uptown Latin DJ mean?
And Uptown to me is a lot of dembow, a lot of reggaeton, Latin trap, and the ability to play hip hop, to play like a quick dancehall set. And it's just, I guess you can call it hood. To me, that's what I consider Uptown, because I've played in New York before, and that's exactly how they play. They keep it amongst those genres, and if they want to throw in a quick bachata, boom, mambo, like heavy, some like 150 like mambo, they throw that in, but then like right back to like the hood stuff. So that's what I consider like Uptown Latin.
And so the opposite of that?
The opposite of that is like bachata, merengue, like your 125, 130 merengue, like the clásicos and stuff, salsa, cumbia. Like that to me is like, I call it tropical Latin. Yeah, so that's like kind of like soft, I guess.
That is, it's funny. I have been trying to figure out what the name of the opposite is, and tropical Latin's a perfect way to put it.
To me, it's tropical. It's like it's mainstream stuff. Like it's not no like if you play reggaeton, it's not gonna be no vulgar like Bad Bunny stuff like really explicit. It's just soft, like salsa, soft reggaeton, like 90 BPM, and like your typical bachata, merengue. That to me is tropical. And like a perfect night for that would be like Vincent's on Fridays. Yeah, that's like.
But usually like older crowd.
Yeah, it's an older crowd, but when you go to another club and you're not DJing, you pay attention to the music all the time. So it's real Latin. Yeah,
and as people who may not go to Latin nights or really understand if they're not Latino or whatever the case is, have it. That's why I wanted to have you explain that distinction.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people who don't understand the Latin world, let's say, if they just go to a Latin night, they're gonna think it's every Latin night's the same.
Exactly.
When it can be very, very different.
And it's very different. And it's helped me sometimes, but sometimes like it's prevented me from getting gigs. Because they're like, oh no, like
you're too uptown.
Yeah, you're too like hood. You're too this, and I'm like.
So it's similar to like the English market, where it's oh, you have too like hood of a crowd. Like I try and teeter, like and like there are some weeks where I'm like, oh fuck, like, I could be doing too many hood events this month, where like the other people are like, oh,
but I love it. I love the energy that those type of nights produce.
Yeah,
like there's nothing to me like I've that's why I'm very big on like venue in the back room, because once it's high intensity, like just a straight like reggaeton dembow, as a DJ, like you feel the crowd literally on your hands.
Yeah,
and it's like you can't really get that if you're playing merengue or bachata or whatever. Like you can only dance a couple songs of merengue before you get tired. Like, okay, what the fuck? Like I want to grind.
And the like the way the crowd looks is so different. Like like the girls are different. Like I remember. Yeah, like obviously I think most of the Latin nights here are like uptown vibes. Most of them.
I would say venue, the Latin room, depending on who's there. Icon now they're promoting it as
Ritmo,
as like a Latin night. But the times that I've been there, and this is the first time I say this, it wasn't like Latin. It was they tried to go more uptown, so which is fine. Like if that works, that's fine. But I think if I was going out as just like, a regular, person going out, and I'm expecting, merengue, bachata, salsa, whatever, but then all night I hear reggaeton and like some house and whatever, I'm just like, okay, well, when's the salsa coming on? So like I feel like a lot of promoters tend to like false advertise.
Okay, hold on. Because you've played Ritmo before, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
No, I was supposed to last year.
And then COVID happened?
And then COVID happened.
Yeah, because I swear I saw your name on a
Yeah,
but that's probably what it was.
No, my last gig before COVID hit, I did a venue in the main room, which was dope. It was my first time, and that was like, I felt like that was like the stepping stone, because they were like, oh,
You're ready.
I'm ready. So, and like not a lot of people know that I started playing hip hop. Like I started playing in top 40, like house music.
Yeah.
So I mean, like the Latin scene just kind of fell into my laps, and it became my bread and butter.
Yeah. So I'm trying to understand you, because so you're saying that at least how Hitmo was before COVID, because we're about to, by the time this episode drops, it would have just happened. But
yeah,
at recording, we're about to have the first. I'm so sorry, I'm burping so much. I usually don't burp this much. The first Hitmo night back.
This Friday, yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying that they would advertise as a Latin night, but it wasn't a Latin night because.
So the first couple of nights I went, and I am part of the group. I do I do help out Victor.
Yep.
He's the one that does like venue on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
And their big thing was, we want to bring back Latin to Boston.
Right.
Like dancing and stuff.
Which is like true. Which is like
true.
Something
which is
that's
true.
been missing. Yeah.
Yeah, something that's been missing. But the nights, I'm just speaking on my experiences. The nights that I was there, it was just a lot of, reggaeton, a lot of, dembow, a lot of house music. And it didn't really feel like a Latin night. So if you were to compare that, and then you go to Vincent's, where it's a real Latin night, it's two different ballparks.
Where did they talk about wanting to make it like a Vincent's, or like was that still in big? Like, is that just your perspective, or is that
it's more on my perspective, because the way that they were promoting it, it was, we want people to dance. We want people to dance merengue, bachata, whatever. But the nights that I was there, and I made sure I was there in the crowd and everything, it felt like a venue on Saturdays. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so did you think the crowd wasn't fucking with that, or was the crowd still into it? It's just, it was just different what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah, exactly. So like if I was going out just like expecting more salsa, expecting more bachata, I would have been like, I would have been a little bit bummed out, but the crowd was still fucking with it. But then there were some people that like knew me and stuff, and they would come up to me and be like, yo, like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on with DJ and stuff? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just here. I'm just here partying with you guys too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily just me, just talking shit. It's just people would tell me,
Huh.
Yeah. But I still fuck with the whole concept. I still fuck with, with everything that's going on. It's just, I tried to vocalize that too as well. Like, oh, like, are you going to play this? Are you going to play that? Because because I'm helping out with like the group and stuff like that, and like the promo, I feel like I should have a say. Like, if you're going to promote it this way, then make sure you at least try to incorporate that, with the DJs, like in what they play. Because, I'm sure you've been there where you got promoters texting you like, oh, less hip hop, more this, more that. I've been there. So it's like, you got to tell them the same shit.
Yeah. But the thing is that's hard is, because obviously there's so many different genres in Latin music, right?
Yeah.
It's like imagine someone promoting an American night. Like, what does that mean?
It's tough.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if it's like, to your point, someone who, let's just pretend we're in some other fucking country. I don't know. We're in fucking Sweden or something. And there's these fucking promoters, these American promoters that moved to Sweden, and a bunch of DJs, whatever, that fuck with that shit. And they're like, okay, we're going to have an American night. And me and you happen to be in Sweden. We hear about this American night. How can you possibly cover? Do you see what I'm saying? How did the DJs approach it? Do you just play hip hop? Do you play rock? That's super American. Do you play the fucking pop? So I think that's almost the same thing when you just say a Latin night. What does that mean? Obviously, we know the low hanging fruit. Like, we know that there's certain bachata you have to play, or them,
Yeah.
But you have to understand that, especially because they usually play like 3 DJs at a time, 3 to 4 DJs at a time in one night. So if everyone's going to approach it a different way, the consistency of the night might be off. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, which tends to be the case, because not everybody can play together.
Right.
Like, like if you have back-to-back sets with somebody, you have to have the chemistry there.
Yes.
And sometimes you have, DJs that have a big ego and they want to step on the other DJ, But That's just me. If I'm gonna go to a night, like for example, when I do garage on Fridays, which is another like, Latin night, because the promoter, he's strict on, make sure you play salsa, make sure you play merengue, bachata, and don't go too like hood on the reggaeton and dembow. I tend to follow that format. So if I was to play a ritmo and they're telling me, we want to make this into a Latin night, I'm gonna follow that format. I'm not gonna go out of that just because, because I feel like it. Nah, like you were hired to do something, do it the right way. It's like playing the Latin room venue. You're playing Latin. If you get the okay on it, then you can drop a hip hop or whatever. And even at that, I make sure, like, I look at the promoter like, yo, can I drop a quick hip hop set? All right, cool. If he says no, all right.
I have a question, because for those who don't know, I don't get booked at Latin nights, so I don't fucking know. When you're playing a Latin night and you want to put in a hip hop set, is there like certain hip hop songs that always hit in Latin crowds, or do you just do your thing?
Like You Play was hot. Like this past weekend, Jera, he played like Mask Off, he played Whoopty, he played like Lil Baby and stuff. So like whatever's popping at the time. When I was doing it a year ago, I like to go back to the classics, like Work Remix, some 2 Chainz, like the birthday song, whatever, like something that I know is gonna get the crowd like going bananas. And then before Tekashi and all that stuff, I used to play his shit, and that would just cups in the air, towels, and napkins and everything. So I knew that worked. So like to me, it's like if that works, then I'll stick to it, and then I'll adjust as new music comes out and like new bangers, pretty much. So it's just, it's, to me, I consider that very uptown.
Yeah. Very like New York style.
Yeah, very New York style, which is a dope style. So that's why when people ask me like, oh, but aren't you a Latin DJ? I'm an urban Latin DJ, But if you were to throw me in the mix and like for a hip hop night, I can hang too, That's why I do Elixirs on Saturdays. Yeah,
I'm actually gonna be at Elixir for the first time on Friday. I think we're talking about.
Yeah, that should be dope.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I mean,
it's very hood, so it's very like hood. Yeah, but I like it because it's like it's that feeling of being at venue in the back room, and you can kind of just go whatever direction you want. You don't have somebody, telling you what not to play, and this, that, and the third. You just do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, I have the early set, I have the opening set, so I won't be able to get too crazy, but I'm excited to just have the opportunity to be there.
Yeah, I mean, it's even though it's your first time, as long as you kill that opening set, I don't see why you shouldn't be back there.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, I've done it everywhere else. You know what I mean? So.
That's why I tend to separate, like I like to call them like the heavy hitter like DJs. Like I know like who brings what to the table, and that's why that whole like who's like the top boss in DJ, like it's hard to say like who's the best, but it depends on, because I'm sure that you've heard DJs that I've never heard before, and you might have them in your top 5, and the same with me. So it's more based on our opinion, and also if we're speaking now, it's who's killing it right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's the thing is there are so many different pockets in the DJ world. Yeah. Like one of my favorite DJs is Real P, who's been on this show.
Yeah, he told me.
But I don't, like, I think most people in the club world now have never heard him because he'll admit it. He's like, I don't really like playing clubs anymore. I did that. I'm older now. Like, he's way more selective with what gigs he does.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, that's what makes you so good. Is like, you know what I mean? Like, the fact that like we mentioned it on his episode in 2019, and he's the only DJ I know that's ever done this. He's played at every major museum in Boston.
Shit.
He's played at like the Gardner Museum, the Museum of Science, the Children's Museum, the ICA, and the Museum of Fine Arts all in 1 year. Like, you see what I'm saying?
That's dope.
Like it's shit like that where I'm like, I think he's the only DJ who can say that.
That's pretty
so
dope.
To me, I'm like, when I look at that, I'm like, he has to be in my top 5. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard him, so I mean, and I trust your judgment, so I'm not gonna like.
Yeah, I mean, but again, like, I think if you were to throw him in an Uptown Latin night, it's gonna be out of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
Do I think he could probably still do it? He could probably still do it.
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
knows? But you know, it's all perceptive. It's like if you live in that world,
Yeah.
you're gonna like I got asked Laura last week or 2 weeks ago, and she named all like Latin DJs because like that's who she's around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why, like, before I started talking to you, I started to like instantly, like, I gained like respect for you because I think we were doing the Bajo Mundo party,
Mm-hmm.
and Chris ended up hitting me up. Chris, what's his name on Instagram? I think Little Chris or like Little Chris.
Oh, Chris!
Chris,
Yeah, I love Chris.
So he had hit me up for like a Latin night, and he was like, "Yo, Snacks recommended you," and I was like, "Yo." Like I, you know, So I was like, "Yo, like he could have taken."
And
I
didn't know you yet.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yo, he could have taken the gig," but right away he was like,
Mm-hmm.
"I remember you told me you were like, oh, like that's not what I do," so I recommended you. So I was like, "Yo, you know what? Like, yeah, that's solid."
Yeah,
and like not
real recognize real.
Yeah, like not a lot of DJs do that.
I forgot about that. That's so true. Yeah, he asked me. He wanted to do Latin, and like he knows like I'm a DJ. And the thing is, I can like I'm not gonna get into it, but
no, because you
like,
told me you were like,
you
were like, I know I can. It's just
people just don't.
Yeah,
I just don't do them.
You just don't do them.
Yeah,
and it's like, and it's okay because we all have our bread and butter.
Yeah.
Like you might be a fucking nasty ass hip hop DJ.
Yeah,
I'm not, and that's okay.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. No, 1,000%.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, you know, I know you can do it, and you know, he's my homie, and like, you know, he wants to put me on, whatever. And yeah, I was just like, yo, like, if you really want to, because he was like, I need to hit a home run with this, like, whatever. And I was like, if you want to hit a home, like, then get a guy who really does it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why, recommended you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I didn't even really know you.
Yeah, and from like that day, I was like, yo, Snack has like my respect.
Yeah, man. Like again, like if I like again, especially now with being music director, like I was hitting up people that, like so we have our first, so we're doing side room. So we're doing drip again.
Mm-hmm.
But,
An icon, right?
But Gold Room is still being renovated.
Oh wow!
So we can't be there right now. Like no one can. Like if I don't know if you noticed, there's nothing going on in Gold Room.
Yeah, I seen promo for Icon on Friday.
Yeah. So we have temporarily in the meantime doing side room, which is whatever.
It's not a bad room. It's not like
it's a good room.
If you can fill it, if you can like book the tables, like when it's packed, it looks dope.
Yeah. No, for sure. But so our thing was like, obviously we have, you know, Ritmo going on the other side, so we got to make shit something that's completely different, right?
Yeah.
So hip hop is, you know, and as of right now, in the weird ass state of nightlife that Boston is currently in, there's no true hip hop night on Friday right now.
Okay.
So the way, you know, we were thinking about it, I was like, yo, let's make the coolest fucking hip hop night in the city. You know what I mean? So that was my approach with it. And so the first night we come in, we have Papa Don.
Papa Don, yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's OG, Bia's tour DJ, as pretty much
on Jammin' too.
On Jammin' is like as hip hop as we can get. You know what I'm saying? And he's someone that like, I'm not boys with him. We're cool. We've DJed on the same bill together. I used to fucking open with it for him way back when. I still don't even think he knows my name. Like, you know what I mean? But I hit him up and I'm like, yo, like, I could have picked myself.
Yeah.
I could have picked fucking Stamps. Like, but I was like, I think for this first night, I think he would be perfect. You know, to set the tone of like, okay, this is going to be the hip hop room that offsets the Latin room.
Yeah.
So, because like when the two rooms are too similar, it's just people kind of going back and forth from the two.
That was the problem.
And not either room is not really full. So let's let the Latinos do their thing. They're going to pop in the hip hop and be like, oh no, two hip hop, and then come back, whatever. Same thing. Let the hip hop people come here and they'll go into oh shit, two Latino. Let's stay here and then make it two things. You know what I mean? And it's cool. And then you have obviously the people that can fuck with both. You know what I mean? But there's no reason to have two rooms just to cannibalize each other.
Yeah, that was the problem last year. I don't know who was doing the hip hop room, but they started playing like Latin. And like we told the promoters, like, yo, like
they can't do that.
They can't do that. Like chill.
Oh, I should have had Phil get us more ice.
Sorry.
Damn. You need to re-up? You need Phil?
Yeah.
Does it go good with the blue shit too?
I have no idea. I typically don't chase it. I just go straight Henny.
Yeah, I'm not on that time, bro.
Should
we get more ice?
If you want.
No more ice? All right, real quick, I'm going to get ice.
Let's get to the spicy stuff. Snacks has stepped out of the building.
So the door's locked because they always lock it after like 8 or whatever. And so I'm like knocking. Phil is right there. I'm knocking on the door and he's ignoring me. And I'm like, Phil. And finally he looks and he goes, oh shit. He goes, yo, I learned that if someone's knocking on the door like that and they're a stranger, you ignore them.
Oh shit.
I'm like, bro. Okay. Okay, so we're back. We got ice. Going for another re-up here. You want ice, right? So you're just gonna drink it straight?
No, I'll drink it with Gatorade. It's hitting kind of light.
It was good with the red. I'm actually pretty surprised. I don't know.
I wasn't gonna bring a chaser, but I'm like, damn, I don't know.
Well, we have there's like I forgot what the fuck we have back. We have random miscellaneous shit back there. So I'm sure.
I mean, I pictured you as a savage. I'm like, he probably just drinks it straight up.
Nah, no, I'll do shots like
Yeah.
whatever like, but drinking shit on ice like I'm kind of like yo like I really like I like girly cocktails, like super
Okay.
sweet, like a big margarita guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, this looks terrible. So now we're moving on. Oh, you're just drinking.
Fuck that. Oh my god.
So now we're moving on to the blue Gatorade. Will it taste good? We will see.
That's
then we also got-
in trouble, bro.
Yeah, we also got water too. But fuck, what were we just talking about?
We were talking about I have no idea.
Fuck.
The side room at Icon.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
separating the two pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So like I remember there a couple of times where I was playing main room icon,
Yeah.
and I think you would be playing like side room.
Yeah.
And I remember like, you know, this is when like Debote is still really big,
Yeah,
and I'd
yeah.
say on the mic, I'd be like, I know the next room is loud, but fuck it.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Like I was just like, I need to play this one. Like, but yeah, it's true. Like it's tough to, you know, that is the thing about having the two rooms is like you're technically supposed to just like keep them separate.
Yeah. It should be dope this week though. I know there's a few tables already going,
Yeah,
so it should be pretty dope. I'm
I think
actually
people are
gonna head out
excited.
there.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out there.
It sucks that I'm gonna be missing it because I will be at Elixir.
Nah, Elixir, trust me, Elixir's a whole vibe.
Yeah,
Elixir's a whole vibe, and now with no restrictions and like hookah, yo, forget about it.
yeah. No, it's probably gonna be retarded.
It's gonna be retarded. So
But at the same time, it's like I want to make sure. I don't know. I get so like because
yo, don't
like-
sleep on don't sleep on Elixir. Elixir,
I've never been.
yo, the
I've never
girls that go there, like they're A1, like A1.
Like Boston's finest, North Shore's finest,
No, they come from all over.
like New England's finest.
Yeah, like New England's finest. Like it's just like top notch, like top notch girls, and like now with no restrictions, like the vibes are gonna be like A1.
I'm gonna text you. I'm gonna text you along there and be like, yo, you're
Especially
right.
especially when like Cisco's there. When I was
Yeah,
there,
it'll be me, him, and Don Styles.
yeah, Don Styles is nasty. Don Styles is nasty.
We're like from like the same hood.
Yeah,
Like we used to go to the same gym and shit.
Don Styles is a problem. I'll tell you that straight up.
I've only heard him play once.
I did Elixir with him once, and it was crazy, and like I never heard him before, so I'm just like, wow, like you're pretty good, bro. Like
Yeah.
you know, keep doing.
Yeah, I'm
your thing.
excited. I mean, it's a sick lineup.
Yeah.
But like, I'm the newbie that no one's heard of over there. You know, because I don't play in the North Shore like
Yeah.
ever. So you know, I'm excited. It'll be cool. But like, yeah, I'll be chilling, just like hear everyone else how they do it, and just see how Elixir gets down.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's very hood. It's very hood, but it's dope because you can go anywhere you want. You want to play reggaeton, you want to play dembow set, hip hop set, you know, Afro beats, whatever. When I was there with Stams, he went all over the place. Stams is a maniac. Bro.
Yeah.
Stams is a maniac.
Yeah, he is. He's someone that like you think he reached the peak,
Yeah.
and then he'll pull something else out, and you're like, God damn, like
Like there was a point where he gave me goosebumps. Like just his whole presence. I like to pay attention to. Like
so he's a guy who commands the presence.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like he's the like I remember one time, this is back when I was opening for him. You know, I do my opening. He's like, okay, you know, like I'm gonna get on. I'm like, cool, whatever. And he drops the dun 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 dun
Oh my God.
like he drops that to start his set.
Wow.
And I'm just like, that's what I mean. Like it's very cocky. It's very like in your face.
Yeah.
And he's saying all this shit in the mic, but he commanded everyone's attention. You know,
He did.
and he comes off with the confidence where you're like, okay, I'm here and I'm clearly his big time. Even if he wasn't. You know, you just have to, if you don't know, you just look at that and you're like, he's big time.
That's literally all it takes. It's
Yeah.
just how you command that booth.
Mm-hmm.
And I never I never met him before, so people were always in my ear like, oh, Stam's this, Stam's that, and like
Yeah.
and like I remember I used to have a once a month residency in Providence at a hookah spot, and one of the DJs there, he was like, oh, you know Stams? I'm like, I know of him, but I don't know him personally. But oh yeah, that dude's cocky, and he says he's Boston best DJ. But I never ran with that like judgment. I was like, nah, I don't do that. I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
Until I met him, and I was like, yo, like, it's like the total opposite. And now like he like texted me and stuff. Like he hit me up when I posted like the jam and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, we had like a personal conversation and everything. I was like, yo, like, totally opposite. It goes to show, don't judge people like if you don't know them.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, he's a big example of like, there's the DJ persona and then there's the person. Because Jeremy and Snacks are two very different things. I tell people that all the time. Like
it's like a switch. Like,
yeah, it's you're not the same. You're not Harvey Romero when you go to work.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I cover my tattoos, interviews, I take out my earrings. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and
it's the same
I'm
thing.
fully talented, so I wear long sleeves. I try to be as professional as possible.
You code switch.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect word. Like,
yeah.
Code switch. Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
DJing is our job. And so if we need to be marketable or likable or whatever, like, you know, like I was telling people like the chain I wear when I DJ, I don't just wear. Like I only put it on when I DJ.
Oh really?
It's like a bigger chain, it's like a big lock. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen, that's weird.
Like,
yeah, I've seen you.
and it's and on my close friend's story, like over the week, like on Sunday, I was like, you guys know what time it is when I have this on.
Shit.
Like I haven't worn this in a year.
Yeah.
Like it was like you know, you ever seen that meme of like Joe Biden getting the medal, like the Medal of Honor or whatever, and it's him like mad serious, and they're putting, like Barack's putting them, like that's what it is like when I put that shit on.
Oh shit.
Because I'm like activated, you know what I mean? And like I used to wear like mad rings, like and like you know I'll just be. That was just the swag, you know what I mean? And there's certain clothes I wear that only would like Snacks would wear, but Jeremy wouldn't, you know what I mean? And
that's what's up though. At least you got that packed down.
Yeah, like it's just the way it is. Like Jeremy is just in sweats, running shoes and t-shirts, but like Snacks is like wearing designer shoes and designer backpack and like you know what I mean? Like
non club days, I'm usually in like gym attire.
Yeah. And you know, some people are always on all the time. And some people are like the quintessential, like when you think of a DJ, like a club DJ, they're style, like someone who's like that in my eyes is Kodo King. Like I look at him and I'm like, you're 1000% a DJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna mention another one from New York, Pereira. That's somebody I follow a lot, and he's like all the time, like doing sold out parties and. Just
but always flashy. They always
flashy,
have
like you know earrings, like Gucci, you know whatever. Yeah. I'm like, yo, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and you know there was a time where like being flashy like was kind of the way I was going, but then I kind of like, COVID just taught me a lot. Like when COVID took everything away, I was like, I have all this shit for nothing, to not wear it. You know, like it was one of those things for me. But yeah, I tell people all the time like.
You know who's like that too is Alex El Menor. He's very, very high flashy, and I'm always like, I'm always busting his balls about him. Like, damn, yo, you're like a walking $1,000 bill.
Yeah, and like, but thing is, like, if that's what gets him comfortable in that mode, or like if that's the perception he wants to give off, like, and it works, right? Like people see him, and they're like, oh, like he's always on point. Like he is,
and I always tell him he's always always on point. I didn't like him at first, but for that reason, just because of how he presented himself. And it goes back to not, like, don't judge somebody if, like, you don't know them. Mm-hmm. But it was just, you know, you get to hear, like, people talking about certain people. It's like, oh, they're this way, but that's your perception.
Mm-hmm.
Let me meet him first, and then I'll make
Mhm.
my own.
Mm-hmm.
But he carries himself like that for a reason because he wants to make that presence.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, to me, if you have it, flaunt it. You know what I'm saying? If you have it, like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Like I drive a BMW, but I don't like post it on social media like that.
I mean, people use it as like I get booked so much I can afford this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is, to flex, like whatever. But I started hanging around people like Real P, people like, I don't know if you know, like Hypatones.
I've heard these
Big
guys.
Tunes. Like, these are all dudes that like are very not flashy.
Yeah.
But they all are fucking insane
Yeah.
at DJing.
I got a chance to open for Big Tunes and Papa Don in the main room at Cure when I was working with Mitch.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
And like I remember I was opening and Big Tunes was there early. He was there early and he came on and he started doing some crazy shit. He started grabbing acapellas, instrumentals. I was like, yo, like what is wrong with you, bro?
So Big Tunes is very talented DJ.
Yeah, very, very talented.
And but he'll pull up in a Hanes YT and sweats.
Yeah.
And like being flashy is not his vibe.
Yeah,
but he just lets like the hands do the talking.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite DJs. I've heard him a few times. But like you said, he's not really like out there like that. But I think he'll chop heads off.
Yeah. So he's popular in his personality because he's such a well-liked dude. Dude. He's a funny ass dude.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, so
real humble.
But yeah. So because of that, he doesn't need to do the whole flashy this, flashy that. You know what I mean? And same with Real P. Like, he's an OG. He has a family. Like, he doesn't. That's not his vibe either. He lets the music do the talking.
Exactly.
And so like, there's different things like. Me as I develop and get older, like I'm in, I just like to look presentable at all times, like, whatever.
It helps.
But I don't think like I'm the most fashion forward dude. Like I like to be more comfortable than anything. I
seen a video of you on Sunday. Wait, I think you were rocking like some type of jacket.
I was wearing a.
Was it like a red jacket?
It was an orange like overshirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So on Sunday, so granted, like Sunday was something like it was Hava first night, like whatever.
It looked insane.
So, dude, it was surreal. Like there was multiple times I was like, I feel like I'm dreaming.
I seen all the females in the booth too.
No. Okay, before, if you look, I posted pictures today. It was mostly all dudes in the booth because that's how I roll. I'm not even gonna I am not a stuff the booth with girls type DJ at all because, I take it so seriously that and they usually just distract me.
Yeah.
Like, constantly trying to get requests and trying to dance on me, and I'm like, no, like I need to kill. Like I take it so seriously, so I usually just have dudes in the booth. But then when you have mad dudes in the booth, they're all trying to get girls because they're not the ones DJing.
Yeah.
So then they throw it. So they get mad girls, and I turn around and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? And then snap, pictures are going crazy, and it looks like I'm the one who brings all the girls in, and that's not the case. And I've gotten in so much trouble in the past for that, and I just want to get on air right now. It's never me.
It's never you.
It's never me.
To me, it's always me. and it's cool. I mean,
no, and there's DJs who are like that.
Yeah.
And they love that they'll be on the girls come here, like whatever.
I've said some wild shit on the mic before that has attracted girls. They just come up right after.
Yeah, I mean, I do say shit like if there's if I get my strip club set, you know what I mean, and it's just like crazy, like Megan Thee Stallion 2 Chainz shit. Like I'll be like, yo, like. Girl with the biggest ass make some noise, like whatever, and then you just hear, the crowd start to I'll say shit like that, but and try and entice people and just get people in it, let them have fun, let them let loose.
Yeah,
I
think when I was I was at Cure, and I was pretty lit, and I think I said something like, oh, if your kitty doesn't smell, like make some noise, and like the whole
place went crazy.
The whole place went crazy, and like to this day, like security guards over there and like promoters, they're like, yo, we know you because of that. And I was like, yo, I don't know what happened that night.
Going back to Stams.
Stams.
So
Ellis Stams.
Yeah, so that's my guy, and I'm cool with his girl. Shout out Allison. And I love Allison for many reasons. Shout out Allison again. But one of the things that she's great about is she gets it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been at gigs with whether it's me and Stamps together or I just pull up on him and she's there and I'm chilling with her. Oh shit, what's up, girl? And he's saying crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
And I look at her and I'm just like, oh shit. Like, because I've had girls who, we talked about this, they'll be like, yo, when he gets out of that, I'm gonna fucking beat his
Oh,
ass.
fucking
You know what I'm saying?
Throw my shoe at him. So.
And yeah, yeah. And I look at her and I'm like, and she's like, yeah. She's like laughing. She's like, yeah, like and whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, doesn't bother you? She's like, no, it's just the persona.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, he was saying some wild shit at Elixir, and
Yeah.
and for a quick second, I looked over. I was like, she's just like laughing,
Yeah,
dancing.
and she's having a great time.
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, what's up?
But it's because she understands that he's doing that because it entices the crowd and it gets the girls involved. And because at the end of the day, like DJs have the progression of the DJ has become to the point where we're showmen, we're performers. It's not just about the music; it's about the marketing, it's about the MCing, the persona. Like, so if part of if what helps makes your set that much better is saying things to elevate the crowd and get them with you, so they're in the palm of your hands.
You're a performer now.
You're a performer, yo, and that's when you start getting big events, because people are willing to spend that money to go to your shit because they know that they're gonna have an experience.
It's just not DJing anymore. Like
It's
you
not.
gotta, and that's the conversation that we were having. Is just it's just you can be a great talented technical DJ, but if you're missing like the marketing side, they're obviously. You have another DJ that does both, they're gonna book you.
100%.
100%.
You're a great hitter, but you're just a DH, right?
Yeah.
You can't field, you can't run.
Exactly.
But I have a Mike Trout
Exactly.
who can do everything.
They can do everything. 5-tool player. Yeah.
I'm gonna get him and pay him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it took me a while to understand that, and it was one of the things that made me very frustrated, because I was always like, why is this DJ getting booked and I'm not? Like, I know, because I spent a lot of time, working on my mixing, working on my transitioning, and I felt like I perfected that. So then to get to the point where it no longer matters is like, okay, what the fuck,
I mean, I can never say, as someone who is such a big mixer and transition type DJ, like, I definitely don't think it doesn't matter, because when I hear people talk about me or my DJing, the first thing they talk about is my transitions.
Yeah.
But I think as far as promoters go, they don't necessarily care about that. So like you have to
nowadays, because promoters can't tell a good DJ from a bad DJ. anymore.
So you have to get yourself to a point where promoters like you enough to put you in those spaces where people can appreciate your mixing and transitions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so again, having the best of both worlds will get you there.
Exactly.
Because then the promoter might love you and think you're super sick, and you might have tons of girls that follow you and whatever. But if every time you get booked, the fucking place is dead, or like the vibe is dead, like no one's moving and having a good time, so the bar, you get the good bookings, but everyone thinks you suck. You know what I mean? So it's like, to me, I'd rather just have both, get respect from everybody.
Yeah, and that's my biggest thing now, is I just want to earn the respect. Yeah. Because I feel like I put in the work. I've opened up for many DJs. I've done free gigs and everything like that. So at this point, at this stage of my DJ career, if a promoter cannot see that, then you're not somebody I want to work with. And I'm not going to beg you for a booking. All the bookings that I get, I might not be booked like heavily like I would love to be, but I feel like I get quality bookings. I've done all, I
think you do too.
I've done all the the top spots in Boston. I've done Providence.
I agree.
New York. I just did Columbia recently. So something's working,
No, I completely agree. And
like the first time I've remember I asked you to open up for you. Like, what nowadays with the whole ego thing, you don't really, to me, it's like you don't see that no more. Like for another DJ to be like, yo, I'm gonna open up for you. Like I love opening up, because you set the tone for the next DJ, and to me, I take that as an opportunity to showcase your talent to the promoter. So that's why I take those gigs. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna open up, cool. So I make sure the promoter's there, like, yo, hear me out. This is what I bring to the table. And the bookings follow after that. Sometimes you got to take a little L here to gain a bigger W in the long run.
Absolutely. No, that's great advice. What are some places that, you want to play, or that you feel like you should be playing that you might not have had a chance to, or a chance to go back?
My dream spot in Boston is Royale on a Friday. I love house music. I started learning how to mix with house music, so that's a big spot to me that I would love to play at. I would love to play, more open format nights, like Bijou. Kind of, I want to diversify myself, not just, do Latin gigs, because there's not many Latin spots in Boston, and everybody's competing for a spot. So I don't want to just rely on two spots. You know, I want to be able
Right.
to go DJ in New York if I wanted to, or Providence, or, you know, Florida, for example. Like I want to get out of Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been on my mind heavily. It's like, and I've been talking to friends that I have in Florida. They're like, you need to get out of Boston. There's like nothing in Boston. There's like the market's very slow. Like people like don't have. I was talking to one of my boys, DJ Nova. He works for Spotify now.
Yeah.
And he was telling
And
me,
he's in Miami, right?
yeah, and he left, and it's like his life completely changed. Don Styles lives in Florida,
Yeah.
and Don Styles is killing it right now. He's in all, like, any hotspot you can think of in Florida, he's there. So Nova told me, he's like, you need to leave Boston. The market's slow. So that's where I'm at now. I wanna be able to just branch out of Boston. You know, because my dream, like, of being a DJ was being able to play everywhere, not just in Boston.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something I was really thinking about too, especially before COVID, like, you know, moving around a little bit more.
Yeah.
And yeah, because, you know, when, like, I think I'm very close to the ceiling here. Like, I'm playing at every spot I'm supposed to be, and you know what I mean? And like, I'm only 26, like I can't just be playing at these same spots for the next 10 years. You know what I mean? So
like, you ask yourself, all right, what else is
what's
there?
next? Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah.
And that's something that always stuck to me when I did venue one night, and Nova was in the main room, and we were talking the next day after, and he told me the same thing. He's like, damn, like, I've always dreamed about playing in venue in the main room, but now that I did it, it's like there has to be more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
And like right after that, he left to Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like we want more. Like, this, like, venue cannot just be it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can't just be the
Yeah.
the ultimate goal. You need another drink, Philly? You're eyeing it.
Go ahead.
You want some?
Go ahead.
Come on, go take it. Where's your cup at? Come on, Phil. Get your ass back over here. Shout out Phil, our producer, as always. I mean, you know, we were talking about earlier getting a little spicy and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what's spicy anymore, man.
You don't know what's spicy? I mean,
Because, you know, we've had so many best DJ discussions. You know, I think now it's, you know, talking about like the promoters a little bit or how they're approaching. I mean, I think you talking about Himo was kind of spicy just in terms of, you know, because it's something that's fully existing. You know, what I mean?
I've had promoters literally say that I suck just because I'm working with another promoter, and like that's something that I know, yo, it's something, and it's because there was a time where I was working with Mitch.
Yeah,
I was working at Mitch, and he had me in the back room as the lighting guy.
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I was doing the lighting.
It was like you and El Menor pretty much.
Yeah,
right?
me and the Menor. That's where
I went to one of your fuck, this is Halloween, not Halloween night, but like Halloween week or fucking
yeah.
And I went to
Okay, I remember that. I remember
bro, I was lit.
that was lit. It
So
was
much
lit
fun.
night. It was
Packed.
lit.
It was lit. I don't know why I was off that night, but I was off that night. And
I remember
me
that
and
night.
my homies, like, that shit was lit. That shit
It was lit.
You killed that shit.
It was lit.
That shit was hot.
It was lit.
Sorry.
No,
Continue.
I know. I remember that night. I think it was like 10:30, and people were already like swarming in.
It was
yeah.
the back room was popping. I didn't even go to because again, like when I have an off night, like I don't want to hear the same shit that I play.
Yeah.
So like I was like, nah, I want to go to the live room and like
Yeah.
dance on somebody's daughter and shit. You know what I mean? Like
See, like that's the mentality that I have, is like when you go out, what do you want to do as a guy? Is you want to go pick up girls. Yes, you want to dance a bachata here and there, get a little, close, but you also want to dance a perreo, a dembow,
hell yeah,
and like
bro.
keep it like that. You want to grind. Like, to me, I'm all about like those like house party vibes.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, that 1,000%.
Yeah. And I'm a big women's first DJ.
Yeah.
I play with the ladies one first. Like
Yeah.
I'll get like moans and groans from the guys, and I'm like, bro, if I play fucking Young Dolph for you, like locker room music,
Yeah.
y'all be trapping out to the side, but then all the girls are dead.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all.
That was,
You know what I
it's
mean?
funny you say that, because that was like one of the like the first very like key points that I got from another DJ that he told me. He's like, always remember, play for the girls.
Always.
Always. And
Always,
like
always.
works. It works.
And like anyone that goes to like a lot of my gigs like can attest, like obviously I'm gonna play hot shit. I'm gonna play
Yeah.
like, you know, but the majority of my set is like, whether it's older stuff, whether it's like, you know, like I like to like pick out shit that like like B-side stuff or
Okay.
like shit that like most DJs won't play, but it's one of those holy fucking shit, like, because I know girls listen to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that's why, I think that's half the reason I've gone so far is just because like when I'm on, like the bar does amazing, girls always come, like, and it's not because of me. They don't want me. They just like the vibe I have. You know what I'm saying? And I think it goes a long way. And like, you know, I've had gigs where it's like the Celtics come and they want all locker room music. You know what I mean? And I'll do it because obviously it's them, but like I'll look around and I'll see all the girls that are like at their table, all the fucking white girls at their table are just like, because they don't know it. This is locker room music. This is shit that gets you amped up for a game.
Yeah,
you
like
know what I mean?
like that hood stuff.
Hood ass shit.
Hood is
that's
shit,
like
and
you
it's
can't
dope.
dance to. It's lit. No,
That's
like I
dope.
like it. Like that's what I listen to in the gym in my car. But I tell people all the time, just because shit bumps in your car doesn't mean it's gonna bump in the club, and vice versa. Just because it bumps in the club doesn't mean it's gonna bump in your car.
Yeah.
The example I use all the time. I think if you ever listen to Mo Bamba just on your own, you're a fucking psycho. Like you listen to Mo Bamba on some big speakers at a party and it's fucking amazing. You know what I mean? Same exact concept. Like I don't necessarily like find. I'm trying to think of a funny example. I love Dua Lipa.
Okay, yeah.
Like very pop disco. Like love her vibe. Like I
Yeah.
think she's so dope. Like
That song with J Balvin and Bad Bunny's fire.
yeah, like she's doing really really dope stuff.
Yeah.
And like I listen to her in Phil's back for the Henny. I listen to her on my when I'm working, like catch a vibe, like windows down in the summer. But that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be playing all of her records at the club, because there's a few records she has that I could do it, or some remixes. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you want more or whatever. We did it with the blue Gatorade. It's not as good as the red, but it's still fine.
Still hits.
Philly in the building, getting activated on a Tuesday. Jesus Christ. Yeah, get in the camera, baby. We are, this episode is available on YouTube as well. If you want to look at my terrible outfit and look at Harvey, as well as look at Phil getting some Hennessy.
So let's get to the spicy stuff. I know you want to ask.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what's what. I don't know. You be fucking bottle girls, bro? Like, what's up?
Nah, this past weekend.
Oh, sheesh.
No, this past weekend there was I invited some girls out, and she brought her friends or whatever, and there was this one particular girl that, she was like, I would turn, she was in the corner, just dancing with like 6 different dudes. So she's there, like, she's there grinding, getting her back like semi blown down, whatever. So like all I see is just her pulling out her phone and like dudes like backing it, whatever. I ended up giving them a ride home. So like she obviously bags me. I'm like, yo, you can either go home and like start hitting dudes up, or you can just bag me. Like,
Hey, when you put it like that, that's pretty good. I mean, it's just fuck. There's like a word, like you simplify it for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's I guess I don't know. There's so much shit has happened, like while DJing. Like, I've been in booths where dudes are getting good stuff back there, and I'm just looking over. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh damn, that's really what's happening right now.
It's funny, like you sing the girl who's like with mad different guys, and it's not to say that when you're a girl and you're single and you're going out, like please have fun. Like if dudes are trying to get on you, like have
and like that's what she was doing. She was like, like I just got cheated on. I'm like, yo, do you think?
Do
you think?
But I have seen girls where, like, whether it's just some dude they were talking to, like they were with somebody like kind of like a week or two ago, and then they now, like, not only are they like, because like I said, there's nothing wrong about like, a guy comes up to you, approaches, talks to you, and you talk to them and they buy you a drink, and you're kind of there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But like this girl's like when like they pick you up and like really like doing the like real perreo shit, the dance hall shit.
Oh yeah,
like she's like
hardcore Jamaican.
Yeah,
shit.
like she's like the one that like everyone's looking at because it's so much all night with like 50 different guys. Because
she wasn't she wasn't like the like I call it like the Mewtwo looking girls. Like you know Mewtwo the Pokemon. Yeah. They're very like slim and then they have a big ass waist. Yeah, like Mewtwo.
Nah, it had nothing really to do with how she looked. It was just like it was one of those things that guys realized that she was like just down for whatever.
Yeah.
So now dudes were like lining up to like get a piece.
Yeah, exactly.
And I could like note it because every time I look over, I hear the phones out. I look over and it's her fucking get her shit rocked by some other dude.
Yeah.
And again, have fun. Do
I
whatever
just
you
took
do.
advantage. I was like, all right, cool. Here's my number.
No, well,
Take
I
it.
was just like, wow, like hey, she's having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's-
But it's one of those things where I'm like, wow.
I was
like,
just vibing. I was like, all right, cool. Here you go. Like, here's my number, and then boom, that's it.
mhm.
But there's been some wild things happening, man. It's just
I mean, obviously the club's a wild place, and for me personally, I see a lot. Like for me, it's like
Yeah.
I just see a lot. Like, or I'll see like I'll have a Thursday through Sunday type weekend, and I'll see guys and girls both. Like I'll see one guy or one girl who was like at like, I saw them on Thursday and Saturday, and both nights they like are fully on with like another person. You know what I'm saying?
it happens.
And then I'll see them like a month later, another like full like. And again, it's cool. You're young, do what you want, but it's just like damn, like it's just like stuff I notice where I'm like,
I've seen married men bring their
Yeah.
side piece, and I'm like,
yeah. That happens
had,
all the time.
I think I did Cure one time with another DJ, and I knew he was married, and he brought his side piece. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, yo, you got balls. You got balls.
The club
to do
is
that. Yo,
like,
you know why? Because like pictures are
pictures,
like, flying everywhere.
bro.
Flying everywhere.
Videos, people. You're in the background of someone that you don't even know's story.
I've had to hit up. I remember one time I hit up Jeff. Shout out to Jeff.
Oh my god! Shout out Jeff.
Yeah, I hit him up and was like, yo, can you please delete this?
Oh, you got caught up.
Yeah, I was literally in the back dancing with some girl, and I was like, yo, I need you to delete that. At that time, I was in a relationship, but I was just kind of like, yo, it's hard. It's hard to like to say no to a girl and like she's feeling you and she's like, yo, let's go dance. You know what I'm saying? You might not have
that shit don't happen to me, bro.
I mean, you might not have no malicious intent, but just the fact that like, all right, it's a friendly dance, whatever. But somebody else, if you're dealing with a Tóxica, that's different.
yeah,
A Tóxica will probably,
and you know me, man.
Yeah.
I love those Tóxicas, bro.
Yeah, I love them too, bro. Like,
Cause I'd rather a Tóxica than like a chapeadora, though.
yes.
And for those who aren't Latino, Tóxica just means toxic,
Toxic,
like
yeah.
female, like the female version of toxic.
Yeah,
And it's just like, they'll beat your ass when you get home. They'll yell at you in front of company. I love that shit. I'm going to pretend like I hate it because it is annoying.
it's annoying.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, damn, like, you love me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Because I'm like, if you didn't love me, you wouldn't act like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Chapeadora is like gold digger, pretty much. Kind of.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
A lot.
You
of them
you
out
can
there.
usually tell
Yeah.
a chapeadora like when they're just by looking at them. Usually.
Chapeadoras are more high maintenance.
Yeah.
So,
And like they only want big ballers.
Yeah,
They need
drug
to be at a
dealers.
table.
Yeah.
Like
drug dealers, pretty much.
yeah. So I'd rather a Tóxica than a chapeadora.
True.
But, and it's not even really my vibe. Like we were talking about this in the DMs.
It goes down in the DMs.
You know what I'm saying? Girls that I usually like end up like becoming more attracted are usually like more low key. Like everyone thinks that because I'm a DJ, I need someone who's like crazy in the clubs too.
Yeah.
But it's the opposite because if my relationship was like out in the open and in the clubs all the time, then like my whole life would be the clubs. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas like, okay, I work in the clubs, but then I can go back home to my Tóxica at home. You know what I'm saying?
They get ready to get that ass whooped.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, like,
why were you out so late? Boom, hit me, and then it's like, okay, let's get breakfast.
That
Mhm.
that happened to me this weekend. I got home at like 4. I mean, I'm not with anybody, but it was still those vibes. She was like, oh, I know what time the clubs close. And it's 4:00. I'm like, yo, like I went to get some food or something,
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it was hot. It was hot though. It was hot because she's like, yo.
Is this baby moms? Or?
Yeah,
baby
yeah,
moms.
yeah,
Yeah,
my baby
you know
moms.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It bees like that.
Yeah, I went to go crash at her spot, and
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So she was like, oh, I know what time the clubs close. They close at 2, and it was like I ended up going there like 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
A lot you
But
can
I-
do in
yeah,
2 hours.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But she was ready on like she gave me those like that death stare. And I was like, yo, that's kind of hot.
yeah.
Even though I didn't
It's
say
bad,
it in my
man.
head, I was like,
yeah.
I was like, what you about to do? You about to like give me a fucking left hook or something?
Yeah. You
It was
better put me in a chokehold.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
I'll just stay there. Like,
Yeah. What are you?
Guatemalan Salvadorian.
Have we had this conversation before?
One time, when I first met you, you told me you were Guatemalan. right?
Yeah. I'm half. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, but I'm half Guatemalan, half Salvadorian.
Is your last name like your real last name Romero?
Yeah. My real name is
It's
Harvin.
Harvin. Yeah, I know that.
Harvin, like
Harvin
that.
Romero. That's a
Yeah.
good fucking name, bro.
Harvin.
Yeah, Harvin. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still,
But-
like Harvin Romero, like like how to explain this? Like, you know how like there's some people like their names like they're like meant to be famous because their name is that way.
Yeah,
like I don't have a famous, like my name is not meant to be famous. Like I'm just supposed to be some dad or something. But Harvey Romero is.
Snacks is dope.
No, but that's my stage name. My real name though.
Oh, Jeremy
Guevara is not a.
Sound like a professor.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not domestic. You know what I mean? Which is cool, but. Like fuck, who was I talking about this with? Like when Laura was here, like she was talking about how she wanted to be a DJ or whatever, and I was like, "What is your DJ name?" She's like, "Oh, like Laura isn't something I can make a thing," and I'm like, I made something that's has nothing to do with my name, you know. So for that same reason, Harvey Romero is a fire name. So that's what I mean. Like dudes who can just make good stage names by just their name, it's just fire.
I used to use, and Scrap gave it to me, DJ Arrow. He just cut my name.
How do you use?
He cut my name like real short, like ERO. And then after that, I kept using it for a while. But one of my boys, he was really big into like the house movement back in the day when like EDM was at its prime. Yeah. He was like, "Yo, why don't you just use your real name?" He was like, "Just
right, that's
Harvey
like the
Romero."
Big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was like, "Shit."
Like Nicky Romero.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was one of the guys that I would follow a lot was Nicky Romero. So I just stuck with.
It's a good name. I mean,
Harvey Romero.
If you still went with like some stage name and I found out your real name, I would hit you and be like, "Bro, how do you not use this name?"
Yeah.
Harvey Romero's an awesome name.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. And there's like people tell me now, they're like, "Yo, Snacks is fire," and I'm like, "But it wasn't always like that."
Nah, but you have it on lock with like the marketing and like.
But that's what requires name. That's like what it takes to make it cool. Like that's what I mean. It wasn't always cool.
Like that whole pizza shit. Like I remember I would see his stories and like, "Yo, I got pizza in the building."
The pizza party. Yeah.
And like,
so we're just waiting to like, because obviously like
people to bring up pizza to you. I was like, that's freaking dope.
Yeah. So we would do like, if you had a table at where I was playing, your table would come with a box of pizza. And so again, it's just that, okay, with Snacks comes people who want to get a table just to get the pizza. Like it all just like, it's just all business.
That's pretty dope.
You know what I mean? So I forgot who gave me this advice. Someone gave me advice. They're like, you have to make it so booking you is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if it's for my music ability, cool. If it's for my marketing ability, cool. If they're both, even better. Like it just, the way I approach it is I have to make it so you have to like hate yourself for trying to skip out on booking me, because it makes no sense why you wouldn't. That's how I approach it.
Is that why you're like constantly uploading content on Instagram?
Pretty much. Yeah. So like, so as it stands right now, right? Like, you know, if I have my podcast following, that's one thing.
Yeah.
And like we can make a thing around the podcast. We can have like, but I know the DJ sponsor it or whatever the fuck it is. Like if we get bigger, whatever. That's one thing, right? And then if it's the pizza thing, cool. The marketability. I also have a cheat code of a run crew right behind me.
Yeah, like, Pioneers, right?
Yeah, we've done nights where I'm like, hey, like I remember we used to do nights where it was like, you know, whether we're celebrating something, like our anniversary, or we have like a daytime race and like everyone wants to party after. I'm like, hey, I'm coming with 85 runners tonight. Oh, okay, like damn, like when I book Snacks, like he comes with, this is what he comes with. Like, you know what I mean? You have to just put yourself in a position where it's not like I'm in the run crew for that, but it's just something I come with. Like, you know, they text me all the time. They're like, now this shit's open. Like tell us the night that we should all come. And I'll be coming with 100 people. Shit. No question. Like with day one, when I was doing my own parties, half the room was Pioneers because they just wanted to support me. So I knew it was going to be a sellout night every time anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like these little things that like, again, you have to make yourself or put yourself in a position where promoters just have to look at it and be like, I have to book him. You know what I mean? Oh, and he's really good.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay. Let's just make him rest. That's what fucking Ado did. Locked me down. Like he fucking put a ring on it.
Yeah, I feel like that's and you know, a lot of people have told me is like that one thing that's missing for me is just putting myself in that like marketing phase. Cause I know I'm a good DJ. I know I can hang with the best. Yeah. And I've proven that. You know, it's just there's that little missing part for like myself to like take off.
Yeah, and but the thing is, like, at the same time, like I've had people be like, "Oh, you're only good because of your marketing." I know people say that about Cisco too.
Cisco, believe it or not, like I feel like Cisco is like, and nobody has, from what I've heard, nobody has said it. Cisco to me is untouchable.
Yeah,
like when
but
it comes
he's
to
an
like
example of you might hate him, you might not want to book him, but you have to book him.
Yeah,
like he's one. Like that's so he's a perfect example of what I just explained. He's a perfect example because you might be like, oh, like, and I don't think he's a bad DJ. I'm just saying, for example, this isn't what I feel. You might be like, oh, he fucking sucks, but fuck, he comes with this and this and that.
When I was younger, I had like a couple like bumps in the road with him, but like recently, we like spoke about it as men, whatever, and we patched everything up. But like I got to see like the business side of DJing and like the industry and also like the DJing part of it.
Right.
And he has both on lock.
Right.
So even when he retires, he's still gonna hear Cisco because of his
it's true.
His like clothing line, like his night that he runs. Like to me,
like him having Team Body Rock is amazing. He's like he has people that like work for him.
Yeah, if there's any upcoming DJ like asking for advice, is follow what Cisco's doing. Like build your own shit. Yeah, no, yeah.
Literally, what I was explaining is him.
Yeah,
and he does. Yeah, like I said, like you might be like, oh, he doesn't fit the night that we want, but fuck, if you want a sold out night. He's not a bad person to consider booking. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. And he's been in discussions for a few things that like I'm working on as well for that. Not necessarily just for that reason, just because his name is that big. Because he can attract like that much people.
He has it on fucking lot. He's in my top 5 just for that reason.
Exactly. So to me, like if you were gonna ask me that question, I would have said Cisco, my top 1 DJ, just for that reason. To me, I told him one time like, yo, you're like the Mayweather of DJs. A lot of people hate on Mayweather. Why? Because he runs. No. He does things how they're supposed to be done, so he can create that like longevity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
and he's nasty on the mic. I don't know if you ever heard him play.
Yeah, we played together once, maybe twice. And yeah, no, he's great. People would be like, oh, his DJ is not that great, but like. I thought it was fine. I think he's better than a lot of other DJs I've heard.
He can nowadays, if you have a good mic presence and you have good song selection, you're fine. You don't have to be like cutting like left. No,
especially on the club side. Like, would I put my money on him on a battle? Probably not.
No.
Would I put my money on him for a sold out club gig?
Fuck yeah,
a lot.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
If I wanted to pack a club, I would book Cisco all day.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like you have to make it. You have to put yourself in a position where people have to fucking book you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I've had promoters who like I know don't like I do a lot of African nights. I'm not African. Do I do fine in them? I do fine. I'm not African, so like I'm sure an African DJ would always be able to do better than I can.
Exactly.
But I come with a lot more than that. There's a lot of African DJs around here, but they don't come with shit. They look like shit. Their Instagram looks like shit. Yeah. They have nothing. They have no crowd. But yeah, they can shell African music. Great. I can shell enough African music, and I come with X, Y, and Z. So as a businessman, you look at that, and you're like, fuck, okay. The one non-African person in this entire room is actually the guy who's playing all the African music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I pride myself in. Like, I make people feel like they have to book me. You know what I mean? And that's how you should approach things. If it means getting involved in more things, then that's what it takes. If it means getting out of your comfort zone, that's what it takes. If it means evolving, that's what it takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Part of this podcast was about that. I've people that have found me or other DJs have found me through this podcast and now support me or now want to come see me. Oh, I heard you talk so much about all this DJing you do. Now I want to see you. And they come out and see me. You know what I mean? Like find different ways to do it. A lot of people do it from producing their own music.
Yeah.
Right. You might be a better producer than you are a DJ, but if get this crazy following as a producer, now you're that much more valuable as a DJ.
Yeah, I just started to dip into like the producing side. I actually have one official song out. It's like a progressive house song.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was a few months ago, right?
Yeah, so I actually worked with that with a producer from California. So
Word.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Pretty dope. I'm big on like the progressive house. So that was like my first like big, like one of my goals. I was like I always want to produce like a song. So I helped out in that. That was pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
And just being able to DJ in Colombia, it was like a whole different like vibe, whole different just treatment. It felt good to actually get treated like how you're supposed to be treated, instead of feeling like, oh, like this person's hating on me, this person's hating on me. And that's what Boston is, unfortunately.
Yeah. But you do have a nice jamming look right now. How did that come about, and how's that experience been for you?
Oh, it's been dope, man. It's been dope. A lot of people that I didn't think fuck with me, like started like giving me like, the congrats messages, like text messages and all that. And like, yo, like you made it. But I'm like, yo, I haven't made it yet. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes like you forget how far you've come until you actually realize like exactly like what you're doing. And I know like a lot of DJs would kill to be on jamming, even though they talk, you know, enormous amount of shit about it. If Pop Dog hits you up and you're like, yo, Snacks, you want to be on jamming? You're going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I've gotten the opportunity twice already. So to me, it's like, I don't take that. Like, you know, I'm very grateful for it.
And how did you approach the set with that, you know, being so grateful?
I took it very, very serious. Like I was working with Big O. Shout out to Big O. He was helping me out with like that. He was my MC. So there's a formula for the radio, obviously. You know, you can't just go in playing whatever you want. They have like a structure. They have, you know, what they want you to play in what order. After that, you know, you're pretty much on your own as far as like what you want to mix into it. But they have a structure of, I guess, like big time songs they want you to include your set. So I approached it. I spent like a whole day on it. I had to re-record a few times just because I wanted to come out perfect. So I took it very, very serious. I was like nervous. I was sweating. I was asking hundreds of questions, but just to make sure that, you know, like that Pop Dog sees that, you know, I take it very serious. So he can consider me for future shows, or, you know, if there's a spot open or something like that, you know, I would take it in a heartbeat, you know, because it's all about, you know, like going to the next level in your DJ career.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, as much as I love the club, you know, I would love to be able to do like, you know, like concerts and stuff and go out of state and DJ everywhere. Like that to me is the ultimate goal. Like, don't get so closed down in your city that you forget that there's another city right next to you that you can go kill it at, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I think that obviously that getting that radio cosign is big, and you know, you put yourself on such a big platform. Have you gotten like feedback from the set that you most recently had over the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a few text messages today that I had a good set, even though I felt like it was really, really like radio friendly.
Yeah.
But like that's how it's supposed to be, you know. And not many DJs understand that like just because you're gonna be in the radio doesn't mean play whatever you want. They're gonna give you like a spreadsheet of what to play and like in what order, and then after that it's like, all right, mix in whatever song you want or anything like that. But everything is, you know, stop it at a certain amount of time, you know, for like the talk breaks and things like that. So it's just not get up there and mix and that's it. Like you actually have to do your homework and you actually have to pay attention to every single little detail.
What were some of the songs on that list?
Like Peaches, like Justin Bieber. That's something that I probably will ever play. But now it's like, oh shit, it's a nice like top 40 song. So if I do a top 40 night or open format night, I can play it. Pop Smoke, you know, What You Know About Love. That's something that I typically don't play. But now that I know of it and I know like what it sounds like, I can like, you know, incorporate that into my set. Like this Thursday I'm doing Nara in Providence.
Is that with Trackstar or?
Yeah, he's gonna open for me. And then
he's someone that I was talking to like right before COVID, and like he was like, yeah, come through, like you know, and I need to follow up with him.
Yeah, I actually when I saw that you guys were gonna be there, actually I reached out to him, and I told him about you. I was like, yo, like Snacks is a good dude, like, you know, you're in good hands, you know, because anytime any Boston DJ goes out there, he always talks to me like, yo, what do you think about him? So like as soon as I saw you post, as soon as you saw,
we were supposed to trade. I was gonna give him Tunnel, and he was gonna give me Nara.
Yeah. Nah, he's a cool dude. Nara, it has 2 floors, so it has like the first floor is like the lounge, second floor it feels more like house party vibe because it used to be an apartment.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it used to be an apartment, but they turned it into like a little like, you know, dancing spot, whatever, which is dope. They used to do Latin nights there. Now it's more open format, but it's a dope spot, and it's right on Federal Hill. So like the whole like block is just packed. So it's perfect spot.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit him up.
Yeah. He actually just sent me his he's singing now and like doing
really?
Yeah, so he sent me a couple of his tracks, which are pretty good.
Word. Yeah, shout out Trackstar. I'm gonna hit him up. If you see me in Rhode Island, you know what time it is.
Yeah, Trackstar. Trackstar is nice. He's nice. He has a good mic presence, and his song selection is dope as well.
Word.
Yeah, it's just there's so many talented DJs out there that are just, I feel like they're not getting the opportunity like they deserve.
I mean, he runs a whole club pretty much.
Yeah.
And one of the more popular ones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it depends how you look at it. You know what I mean? Like, some people want to go all over the place. Some people just want to rock one of the best spots and just kind of want to do the bookings there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why I'm curious of how, you know, me doing bookings for Dope is going to be. Right now, shit's a little bit different from what we expected it to be just because of, you know, staffing and everything like that. If you're listening to this, please work for a fucking club so we can fully open.
Yo,
this
it's
is
crazy.
just ridiculous.
It's crazy. I thought a lot of more people would be like rushing to get back to work. But
They're
like
all collecting unemployment, man.
yeah, but all I've seen is just like, oh, we don't have enough staff. We don't have enough staff. And it's like, to an extent, I get it because they don't want to come back and straight into, because COVID's still out there.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're vaccinated, you can still get it. You know what I'm saying? But are you going to allow it to, control the rest of your life? No, you shouldn't.
Yeah. It's just tough because, like, everyone's expecting, like, oh, like, all the clubs are going to be open. It's going to be fucking thing. It's like, no, like, how do you expect to staff 6 clubs in just a couple of weeks?
Exactly.
Staff and train, Yeah. So it's like, if you're listening to this, please go work for a club so we can just do what we need to do.
Yeah.
But, once we do get... Once we do get to the point where we can fully do everything, like, it's going to be interesting being on kind of that side of things where, like... Because people already were hitting me up. Oh, like, let me... And I'm like, dude, like, you never spoke to me, and now you're like, hey, man, like, this
I mean, I think you're in a perfect position because you're... Like, obviously, you're a DJ.
Yeah.
So you're able to like, I guess, pick the right taste when it comes to the night.
Yeah. So we were
and if you want to go out of your comfort zone, you can be like, all right, cool, I'm going to mix in whatever. Like a guy like Papadon with somebody like, whatever, El Menor or something like that. That does primary Latin nights.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, the way I'm approaching right now, I'm like, who's someone that, like, like I would have beside me? You know what I mean? If it's someone that I would just squash, I'd be like, you're probably not ready,
I can probably call the first night already. It's probably going to be you and Stamps.
For
like the first night, like you start like booking guys.
Well, no, so Papa Don's the first one.
Oh, Papa's on the first
so
night.
that was my pick.
Oh, he was your pick.
That's what I mean. Like, so when
Okay.
when I look at it, I'm like, okay, we're trying to have a hip hop night that offsets the Latin night. Yeah, I could have picked Stamps. Stamps would have been. Stamps is actually doing the week after, I think.
Okay.
But again, I look like I'm not just gonna be some dude who's just gonna put on my friends.
Yeah.
And I had conversations with like a lot of my friends. I'm like, yo, like this is how it is. If I think you need more time, that's my decision, and that's why I'm in this position. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm actually glad that you're saying that because that was one of the situations that like I personally was going through. That other people that were friends with like the promoters, they were getting the bookings, and like I was the one like putting in the work, and I'm like, yo, like.
Yeah.
What's going on? Like,
yeah,
is it a preference thing or something?
Yeah, before Dope, I've never been part of a team.
Yeah,
I've never been part of a clique or a collect, whatever the fuck they call it. I've never.
Yeah, I was put into like 235.
Yeah,
like
I never even got that call.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, so.
But you would expect that if you're a part of a group, that you would get like at least like a once a month like residency, things like that. But I was always like, nah, this person's gonna get it, and it's like, yo, like nothing against him, but. Haven't you seen the work that I've been putting in?
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's why I just never believed in like joining or really even understanding what they were, because I was like, why would I rely on somebody?
Yeah.
Like for me, I was like, I'm just gonna work with as many people as I could, and fortunately, I work with like 6-7 different promoting groups, and obviously now being part of Dope, like now I'm able to like kind of take that experience and like put that into work, you know what I mean? And
it puts leverage on your side too, as far as like you being able, if you wanted to do like a trade with somebody else,
I mean obviously absolutely, like because I'm gonna reserve a night, one night a month for myself, like obviously,
exactly.
And I want to do shit for my own
anybody
team.
In that position would
I want to show for my team too, like and let people know like this is what Dope, like I'm Dope's DJ, so like when you're coming, like you know what I mean, like I gotta do that. But if for whatever reason, if it's like, if I hit up tracks, I'll be like, yo, take my night and I'll take yours. We can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's shit that I think I'm going to do later, because right now my primary priority is to make sure we come out swinging and we set the tone for what kind of nights Dope we're going to have. You know what I mean? That's my main priority. And so if I look at, I want to have a good hip-hop night, I think I sat down and thought about it, and I was like, I think Papa Don would be amazing. I could have put myself... Like, you know, like I said, Stamps is doing like the week after some shit. He'll be fine. I got Stamps.
Yeah,
You know that I got him.
Stamps is probably saying to us like, what the fuck's
Nah, he's like playing venue this week and he's fine.
But I had told him, I was like, yo, you're my top 3. He's like, what? Top 3? He's like, you said that? Top 3? I'm like, come on, Stamps. You know, I can't put you number 1. Because, I mean.
No, yeah, it's everyone's opinion, but, you know.
It's everybody's opinion. I mean,
but yeah, like, I looked at it and I was like, you know, I think when I think of really good hip hop DJ, Papa Don's one of the guys that come up to me.
Yeah.
That come up.
Him or like Big Tunes.
He's doing the first Friday of July, I think. I was supposed to get him earlier, but he was like, yo, I'm going to like Miami, and I'm like, okay, fuck you. Shout out Big Tunes. But yeah, someone who's I know, like, and that's the thing, like, you know how it is. There's like the hip hop nights that are like super quote unquote urban. It's all black people.
Yeah.
But then there's the hip hop nights that's like it's mad white people.
Is it what? Yeah.
I'm trying to mix them.
Okay.
You know, because Dope, their crowd is very, you know, it's pretty mixed. I always love doing their nights because it's pretty mixed. But you know, but then you have like Pretty Ugly's crowd, that's very very urban.
Yeah.
Or well, let's just call it what it is everyone's black.
Everyone's black. Yeah.
And I did both. And I would notice that there was a difference, but at the same time, there was a lot of similarities. I was playing a lot of the same records, whatever. And I always thought, I'm like, why don't the two crowds mix? And then I noticed it was like, well, Kareem books these DJs and Ado books these DJs. Now that I have the power, I'm booking DJs from both.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, for instance, I don't think Ado's ever booked Papa Don. I don't think Ado's ever booked Big Tunes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He always booked me and he always booked Stams. So how about we have all 4 of us in 1 month?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the way I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? So Papa Don's crowd's going to now check out Ado and Dope's vibe. Ado and Dope's vibe are going to check out some Papa Don's crowd and vice versa. You know what I mean? So, and I think just over time, you're just going to find the people that, can go mix with both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, because that's something that always annoyed me. I'm like, the fact that I go into one room and I'm the only non-black person, but play a hip hop set, and then I go into another room, play the same hip hop set, and now I'm the only non-white person. There's these 2 different crowds that should be in the same room, but they just aren't for whatever reason. So that's something I also wanted to, like, that with this power or responsibility that I want to change.
I mean, it's a good position. It's a good position to be in. It definitely is. Like, that's always been like one of my things too. Is I would love to be like a resident somewhere for that very reason, to have that power, not only to put DJs on that deserve to be on, but for myself as well. Like, I want to be able to hit up a DJ in New York, be like, yo, let's trade, you know, so we can open up that lane. Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's something I'm sure I will do in the future. Again, it's not my priority right now because, you know, when we have a pandemic 15 months long, putting so many local DJs out of work, and then I go and have the position to be able to book DJs, and I book somebody that's not a Boston DJ.
Yeah.
That makes no fucking sense.
And
how am I a representative of our city and our DJs and have the ability to book from our city and our DJs, and I just choose not to do it?
Yeah.
Like,
it's
no,
tough. Yeah.
that's not the vibe
it's like,
I'm on.
Yeah, it's like, take care of your city first.
I'm gonna take care of my city. I'm gonna take care of the people that work hard. The people that, at the end of the day, I got to be a businessman that will make Dope and the clubs and the club owners money, but deserve to be there.
Yeah.
Obviously, at some point, it's going to be cool where I'm going to get, I have my boy Malcolm in DC. I'm definitely going to book him at some point, but it's just not now.
Yeah.
Like right now, we have so many DJs that were out of work. I need to put them on. Need to make sure they get back in the scene. I know they do good work and they're deserving, so they should be there. You know what I mean? So to put an out-of-state DJ in right now makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and they're charging a lot too, which I mean they should. I feel like now after the pandemic, like every DJ should get paid more. Like there's no reason why DJs should be getting paid what DJs were getting paid 10 years ago. And
and that was
that's something that like I've had like several conversations about. Is like, yo, you're making a lot of money at the door. There's no way why you should be getting paid X amount of money that DJs were getting paid 10 years ago.
Yeah.
No reason. If you're DJing in Boston, you should be getting at least a minimum anywhere from like $400 to $500 a night.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just my opinion.
this was a big thing that like in Scraps episode
Yeah.
that we talked about, and we had Ado come on and kind of like defend it, and we had the nice back and forth, which I fucking loved. Now being a little bit inside, and again things are different now post the pandemic, and like you know these venue owners are like, yeah, my bad, bro.
Shit.
You want me to pour you up? Or?
Damn, we're halfway there. Think am I good guy?
Yeah. The thing is these venue owners are putting a lot of pressure, bro.
Yeah, it's true because they want to recuperate that money that they lost the last year, which is fine. Like I get that.
Yeah,
but like afterwards. Like,
yeah. I mean, we got to see like once we get because at this point, like they're not giving the same deals to promoters.
No,
they're making it way harder. No,
they're not.
You know what I mean? So
Not
with
at
that
all.
being said, like everything becomes they're all correlated to each other.
Yeah.
So, things become reflective of that. And like again, now me being on the inside a little bit more, I'm able to like, oh shit, yeah, like when you break it down like that, it's kind of difficult to just be shelling out money like that. You know what I mean?
But if you're booking DJs, like, do you ask them their rate or do you just pay them whatever?
So what I've been doing with the DJs that I've already been putting on, I tell them straight up, I go, this is the vibe we're looking for. This is what we're trying to do. This is why I'm picking you. This is our budget. You tell me if you want to do it or not.
Okay.
Say no, cool. Maybe we'll figure out a way, maybe later if we make more, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
Again, when we have Icon side room, I can't offer you the same as Icon main room.
Yeah, exactly.
I just can't. It's a numbers game. So I tell them, this is exactly what I told Papa Don. Yo, we're bringing Drip to Icon side room. I'm trying to make it the fucking coolest hip hop night ever. I want you to do the first opening night. Again, it's side room. This is our budget. If you need an opener, let me know. I'll figure it out for you. If not, it's all on you. Like, let me know if you want to do it. That was kind of like because I know as a DJ, that's like that's the stuff I need to know.
Yeah.
Oh, who else is on with me? Do I get an opener? What's the budget? What's the vibe? What are you looking for? Like, because people be like, yo, can you do this night? Bro, I don't know. Like, can I? And then I find out I end up fucking opening for someone who I'm better than. Like, no.
Yeah.
I told him, all you. If you want an opener, you can bring one. I can approve it or I can supply you one. I told him that. He was like, boom, let's do it. So,
That's a good choice.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, Papa Don, he's legit.
Yeah. And like, there's so many great hip hop DJs, but again, setting that tone. This is how we're coming out. Like,
What do you consider yourself, by the way? Like what do you consider? Because I've always looked at you as, like, I mean, not necessarily like a full hip hop DJ.
yeah,
But I was like, Snacks can throw down.
I'm just a fearless DJ, bro. Like I play shit that most people won't think to play. Like when I did the Freakstyle series over COVID, like the point of that series was just trying to make the wildest mixes I possibly could.
Okay.
And with streaming, did more of that just because streaming like is a better place to do that. But I always try and, whether it's once or twice, obviously depending on the crowd. Yeah. I always try and play something that is just like, holy shit, I've never heard someone do that.
Cool.
So, I call myself a fearless DJ. I think I can play anything. I've been in situations where I think I was the only person that could have possibly done it.
I would love to see you on a Latin night. I would
love to see you on a Latin night too. I've done them before, but like not like.
I would love to see you in venue Saturdays on like in the back room, because like your energy represents that. So I mean, as long as you prepare for it, I'm sure you'll fucking murder.
I have like I've done quinces, I've done baby showers, I've done, like, you know what I mean. Like I've done it where I've also grown up in the culture. Like my parents are immigrants. Like I know what to play. It's just the thing I don't have is the experience. Like it's like, like I could give you the 100 songs that I play the most in a hip hop night for you to do a hip hop DJ, for you to do it to DJ hip hop night. But the thing that you will lack is just the way to piece it together.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Give me 2 nights and by the 3rd night I'll have it.
Cool.
You know what I mean? So, but it's stuff I used to get super butthurt about. But if they don't want me and they have people who shine there, like there are dudes who fucking kill it, who are me of that world,
Yeah.
then that's fine. Like, and I'm content of like being the me of my world, you know?
Yeah, you gotta, I don't know, everybody gotta stick to their lanes. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah. And like, so,
Yeah.
you know, I can't, I hit enough markets. If I don't hit them all, that's fine. I can live with that, you know? But we are getting to that time. I want to give you an opportunity to just plug anything where people can follow you, what to look out for, anything like that.
You can follow me on Instagram at DJ Harvey Romero. Also on Mixcloud. That's where I upload all my stuff. SoundCloud, here and there, just because they're on that copyright stuff. And just look out for a lot of dope events. I'm working with Bajo Mundo on some events. So that's going to be pretty dope. And all the downtown Boston clubs, Latin nights, you can find me there. So hopefully you can come out and rock with me and become a believer. And, just have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope we do another night where like I'm in one room and you're in the
Yo,
other.
that
those are nights I would get amped up for. Yeah.
Yo,
yeah.
that night that I did with you were in the main room. That night I blacked out. Yo, I blacked out.
I probably did too.
Yo, I blacked out, but it was dope. I was like, yo, Snacks
it was a
is
good
the
night.
main
I
room.
remember it was a fucking
Yeah.
sick night. Yeah,
But it was dope. It was dope.
Yeah.
I would love to do that again, and
yeah.
hopefully,
I'm sure we will.
hopefully we get to do it. soon.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And but I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Always good times. Thanks for bringing gifts. Please everybody follow him at DJ Harvey Romero.
Yeah.
Follow at Dope Entertainment Official. Follow But I Know the DJ, and follow your host at Give Me Snacks. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.